We have so many guests invited by our university. So, research scholars and students and participants, please pay attention that the students should be gathering for the days. It's an opportunity that we are the host and we are hosting this conference. So, बड़ी लोग हैं and maybe there is a seat मरी है मार्के बेटी के you have to shift from front to back sometimes the minding आपकी कैसे calling capacities है इस प्रमाणे आपने आपकी जो valuable enthusiasm are showing over here because so many participants wish to have offline conference, so they are reaching here. At the same time, the students out of Gujarat, students out of India have also joined here, joined our conference in online mode. Within a short while, we will share our this function in online mode on Facebook and even in YouTube. They can join us. You all might have received your kit. So you can see the full schedule that is inside in your kit, and you can have the whole function. This is the inaugural function, back-to-back plenary session. Then we will transit from here to Children's Research University. Then onward we will take lunch, and exactly sharp at 3 p.m. our technical parallel session will be started on offline as well as on online mode. So let me throw some light on presence of keynote speakers and plenary session chair. As this conference reaches voices and ideas from across the world, we are privileged to have distinguished keynote speakers and academic leaders joining us today. Some already present. Sri Eknath Awad from Maharashtra is already arrived, and Philip Luchinsky is on the way. He is also reaching over here within a short while. Sri Eknath Awad from Maharashtra, innovative teacher, literary speaker, Sahitya Academy award-winning figure, will today deliver his keynote speech on Indian children's literature. And Philip Luchinsky from Warsaw, Poland, professor in postgraduate study, holistic management of child development of the University of Technology, Poland, co-founder and president of Foundation Vivas Fund, dedicated to science and culture of India, Warsaw. He is also today with us, delivering his keynote address on Polish children's literature. We also take a notice. We also take online presence of Professor Karen Potts. She is professor in education and director of Center of Research in Children's Literature, University of Cambridge. She will deliver a keynote address on American prominent themes of American children's literature. One more keynote speaker is Dr. Karin Somani, senior researcher in children's literature in UK, London, academic scholar, CEO, and director of the London Organization of Skill Development, FOSD, chief editor of Global Research Journal, London, United Kingdom. She will deliver a keynote address on British children's literature. Our category function will be at the evening completing parallel candidate section and certificate distribution. I would like to say something about the if you're not able to key, please visit the reservation desk, so it will be closed. So receive your key and sign in the this conference is available in your booklet. So have a look in it. And one more important announcement for all of us, that we will keep our mobile phone physically carefully. Please pay attention over here. We will keep our mobile phone on silent mode. If we all forget to silence our mobile, it is the right time to have our mobile phone on silent mode right now, please. Person photography should not disturb the property, stay in thoughts.
प्रोफेशनल फोटोग्राफर आएंगे
On behalf of the children's university, I thank the mark of arrival of each and every participant, its scholars, dignitaries, and all invited guests. As for dignitaries will ask, let's have few questions. Few questions on the screen, multiplied. As we have time to embark on this conference, let's have some kind of fun. So for you all, just a question, just imagine your guest answer. It is very much related to this conference. Please show the question number 1. Let's have an academic fairness of all of us, including me. The conference hall, Anupama ma'am, please be seated in the front row, ma'am. Please come forward. And I would like to introduce you all, and I'm very happy to welcome you, ma'am. It is truly a pleasure to acknowledge the presence of a distinguished academic leader whose dedication to excellence in education has had a profound impact. Miss Anupama Singh, Principal of Jamnabai Nursery School, Gift City, Gandhinagar. And we were awaiting a lot for the special guest of the day, Mrs. Swarup Sambat Dawal. And we know her as an actress, as an academician, and it's our pleasure that we have that kind of celebrity guest among us today. So, many surprising things are coming over here by her. She will also deliver you something special, show you something special. Ma'am, if you want me, may I show some videos, some short reels? Have you right? Few reels that we must see how she has worked in her entire life.
I could be red, or I could be yellow, I could be blue, or I could be purple, I could be green, black or white, I could be every color you like. What you call it, I wanna know.
Good morning, everybody. It's our privilege to have our Honorable and National Minister, Shri Prabhutai Panchaya sir. We welcome you, sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University, Dr. T.S. Joshi sir. We also welcome you, sir. Mrs. Sarah Sampath Rawal ma'am. We also welcome you, ma'am, from our bottom of heart. And please take the seat, all the dignitaries, Patel sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, IITE, Gandhinagar, Bhadrayu sir, please take your seat on the dais. Without wasting much time, the time is allowed. We always say, "Tam so ma jyoti gamaya." Lead me from darkness to light. As that is the symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and positivity. As we embark on the enlightening journey of scholarly exchange, let us invoke the divine energy and illuminate our path with wisdom. With this divine invocation, I now request all the esteemed dignitaries to come forward for the sacred lighting lamp ceremony, please. All the dignitaries. And we will rise from our seats to honor this lightning ceremony. Let's have the prayer with this.
Avish Karo ki samvardi Bharati ज्ञान विज्ञान तपोवन कुंजे कुंजे सुंदरता घर घर कुंजे पुष्पों महके सृष्टि प्रेमल धारा तेज कुंजनी ओते ओते अवतरिषि नूतन प्रभुता विश्वविद्यालय रूपे काव्यं शैशव सोरिकरा परिवारणी शाला सत्त्वे तत्त्वे श्री सरिता गंगा निकेतनो विद्यानायक श्री मुक्ति प्रदाता शुभ विद्या अनन्यता आनंदनी संगे अनंत अविरत सुरधारा भारत विश्वविद्यालय रूपे काव्यं शैशव सोरिकरा भारत विश्वविद्यालय रूपे काव्यं शैशव सोरिकरा.
Thank you so much. Please be seated. Now, to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guests, scholars and participants, I now invite Professor Dr. Prashant Patel to deliver welcome speech. Dr. Prashant Patel.
Namaskar. Thank you very much, Dr. Plenary. I extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries present on the dais at this one-day international conference. We are honored to have with us Sri Prakulbhai Panseria, Honorable Education Minister Gujarat, who is presiding over this conference. Warmly welcome the name of Dr. T.S. Joshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University, and our esteemed guest, Professor R.C. Patel, Honorable Vice Chancellor of IITE, Gandhinagar. I also crave the opportunity to welcome Dr. Swarup Sampath Rawal, our special guest, who is renowned in the field of the drama and its education. I also, Professor Bhadrayu Vachrajani, former Vice Chancellor, Lok Bharati University, Sanosra, Dr. Nilesh Pandya, the Registrar of CRU. Additionally, I acknowledge the presence of Dr. Narendra Vasawa, the convener of this conference, and Dr. Bhavi Dikshit, the conference coordinator. I would also like to greet all the professors, research scholars, and invited guests who will be presenting their research papers today. Your presence at this one-day conference is greatly appreciated. This conference holds great importance for us due to various reasons. Through my research in this field, I have observed that Gujarat has largely remained difficult the study of children's literature. Unfortunately, children's literature has often been treated as something separate from mainstream literature, as it is in isolation. Many consider children's literature merely as literature meant for children. This miscommunication has significantly undermined its importance. In reality, children's literature plays a crucial role in the holistic development of the child. It is not just literature for children. In fact, it serves as a vital medium that shapes, nurtures, and develops the creativity and mental strength of the national future generations. Recognizing its true value, there is a pressing need to work on the development and research of children's literature. Children's literature plays a significant role bringing out the creative potential with a child. Forms such as stories, songs, riddles stimulate a child's curiosity. They also encourage their desire to explore and understand the world life and various experiences. Moreover, the language of children's literature strengthens and enriches a child's vocabulary, enhancing their ability to express themselves effectively. Furthermore, children's literature provides valuable insights into the principle, truths, and reality of the world. When children begin reading from a young age, they develop a distinct perspectives. These perspectives help them observe and understand individuals, society, and culture in a deeper and more meaningful way. Therefore, discussion and dialogue about children's literature have become essential in today's world. Its purpose extends far beyond entertainment in serve to educate, guide, inspire, and provide meaningful expression. Addressing this purpose is truly the need of the hour. In the truest sense, this conference stands as one of the most significant literary and cultural events of this our time. This conference has been organized by the Children's Literature, Film, Museum and Physical Education Department of the University with valuable support from Central University of Gujarat. Our department face consistently work toward research and promotion of children's literature. Many literary activities related to children's literature are regularly conducted within the department. This is the first conference of its kind organized on such a large scale in Gujarat. It aims to create an environment that encourages the new generation to gain a keen interest in the researching literature. I wholeheartedly congratulate both the coordinator and the convener of this conference for successfully organizing such a grand events. It is truly delightful to see such a large gathering of participants on this important topic. On behalf of the department and the university, I warmly welcome all of you and esteem the dignitaries present on and off the dais. Once again, I extend a very warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Prashant Patel, for your warm and insightful welcome address. Now, as a gesture of our gratitude and respect, it is time to extend a formal welcome to all our distinguished dignitaries by presenting them book and memento. It is our immense honor to welcome our Honorable Education Minister, Shri Prafulbhai Panchaya, whose dedication and vision have played a pivotal role in fostering education growth and innovations across the state. I now request Dr. T.S. Joshi sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University, to present a book and memento as a token of our deepest respect. welcome our Honorable Education Minister of Gujarat. Thank you, sir. It is our privilege to welcome Dr. T.S. Joshi, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University. Under his stewardship, the university continues to thrive as a structure of knowledge and holistic learning. I now invite Professor Prashant Patel to present a book and memento to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your constant inspiration and guidance to all the fraternities of Children's Research University. We are truly honored to welcome Professor R.C. Patel, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Indian Institute of Teacher Education, Gandhinagar, as our guest of honor. I now invite Dr. Narendra Vasava, sir, convener of the conference. Kindly present a book and memento to Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, IITE Gandhinagar. Welcome, sir. It's an absolute honor to welcome Mrs. Swarup Sampatravan, ma'am, a distinguished educator, a top 10 finalist of the Global Teacher Prize in 2019, an esteemed life skill trainer, a celebrated actress, and of course, a former Miss India in 1979. Her journey from the Bharati University and social chance is truly inspiring. I, Dr. Bhairavi, as the coordinator of this conference, I would like to welcome ma'am. So much. I request Dr. Kunal Bansha to come forward and we welcome Dr. Dharvayu Vacharajani, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It is our privilege to extend a warm welcome to Dr. Nileshbhai Pandya, Registrar of Children's Research University. I invite Dr. Rajesh Chauhan to present a book and memento to our Registrar of Children's Research University. Thank you so much, sir. We are really overwhelming to have our precious presence for all these dignitaries. And now, we have really awaiting this moment formally inaugurate the conference on connecting cultures, children's literature as a global gateway. I request Dr. T.S. Joshi, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University, to kindly deliver the inaugural address. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir.
Namaste. Children Research University અને ICCSR ના આર્થિક સહયોગથી નોલેજ પાર્ટનર તરીકે સેન્ટ્રલ યુનિવર્સિટી ઓફ ગુજરાત સંયુક્ત ઉપક્રમે આજની જે આ ઇન્ટરનેશનલ કોન્ફરન્સ કનેક્ટિંગ ધ કલ્ચર ચિલ્ડ્રન્સ લિટરેચર એઝ અ ગેટવે આ વિષય ઉપરની એક કોન્ફરન્સમાં આપણને સૌને પ્રોત્સાહિત કરવા પધારેલા ડાયનેમિક લીડર, રાજ્યને જે શિક્ષણનું નેતૃત્વ પૂરું પાડી રહ્યા છે એવા આદરણીય શ્રી પ્રફુલભાઈ પાનસેરિયા સાહેબ, ઇન્ડિયન ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ ઓફ ટીચર એજ્યુકેશન ના માનનીય વાઇસ ચાન્સેલર આરસી પટેલ સાહેબ, જે વર્ષોથી એજ્યુકેશનમાં છે, એમએસ યુનિવર્સિટીથી આપણે સૌ પરિચય થયો છે. ખરા અર્થમાં એજ્યુકેશનલિસ્ટ, જેને બાળકો પ્રત્યેનો કેવી રીતે કામ કરવું એ જેને અમે પ્રત્યક્ષ નિહાળ્યા છે. અમારો પહેલો પરિચય, અહીંયા જે પરિચય અપાયો છે અમારા પરિચય પહેલાનો છે. એમ કહું, મારો તો સ્વરૂપબેન સાથેનો પરિચય એક શિક્ષક તરીકેનો છે, એક પ્રશિક્ષક તરીકેનો છે. એ ગુજરાતમાં આખા રાજ્યમાં લાઈફ સ્કિલ થ્રુ ડ્રામા એવા એક પ્રોજેક્ટ અંતર્ગત દિવસો સુધી એમણે ગુજરાતને એ સમય આપ્યો છે, માર્ગદર્શન આપ્યું છે અને પ્રોગ્રામનું ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટ કરાયું છે. એની સરળતા તો એટલી બધી, એક શિક્ષકને છાજે એવી, જેટલા માટે મને કહેવાનું મન થાય કે કોઈ પણ પ્રકારની ડિમાન્ડ નહીં, ક્યારેય કોઈ પણ પ્રકારની ફરિયાદ નહીં. એ ફ્લાઇટ વહેલી હોય, મોડી હોય, બોયઝ હોસ્ટેલ હતી અમારી, છતાં પણ ત્યાં આવીને એની રીતે આવીને રોકાય, ફ્રેશ થઈ જાય, એની રીતે ક્લાસ શરૂ થઈ જાય. આટલી બધી સરળતા જે શિક્ષકમાં જ હોય સહજ રીતે, એટલે સ્વાભાવિક શિક્ષક છે. અને રાષ્ટ્રીય શિક્ષણ નીતિની અનેકવિધ જે સમિતિઓ છે એમાં એ કાર્યરત છે. અને સમિતિમાં જતા પહેલા પણ કંઈક ને કંઈક પ્રેક્ટિસ કરીને જવું, એવા દેગામના લવાડમાં 10 દિવસ સુધી 10 બેકલેસ ડેઝમાં જેમણે અહીંયા પ્રયોગ કર્યો હતો, એ સ્વરૂપબેન આજે આપણે અતિથિ તરીકે મળ્યા છે, એમનું સ્વાગત કરું. ખૂબ આનંદ. વિગત વાત તો એ પણ છે કે આ યુનિવર્સિટીના વીસી થવા માટે મેં એપ્લિકેશન કરેલી નહોતી, એમણે મને નોમિનેટ કરેલો હતો. એવા જ કાયમી આપણને જેમને માર્ગદર્શન મળી રહે છે અને ચિલ્ડ્રન રિસર્ચ યુનિવર્સિટીના એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ કાઉન્સિલ અને ગવર્નન્સ કાઉન્સિલના અમારા માનનીય સભ્ય શ્રી ભદ્રાઈ વચરાજાની સાહેબ, નિલેશભાઈ અને કાર્યક્રમના આયોજક વિભાગના વડા શ્રી પ્રશાંતભાઈ, પ્રથમ તો સમગ્ર ટીમને અભિનંદન છે કે આવી રીતે આ વિચાર કરીને બાળ સાહિત્ય પર આવી આંતરરાષ્ટ્રીય કોન્ફરન્સ યોજવાનું વિચાર્યું અને સરસ રીતે અમલ કરી રહ્યા છે. માટે સમગ્ર ટીમને હું હૃદયથી અભિનંદન. આપણે ત્યાં બીજુભાઈને કાકા સાહેબ પાલેકરે બાળ સાહિત્યના બ્રહ્મા કહ્યા છે. કે પહેલાનું જે સાહિત્ય હતું બાળકો માટેનું હતું, પરંતુ ઉપદેશાત્મક હતું. આ સાહિત્ય છે એ આનંદ માટેનું છે. પોએટ્રી ઇઝ નોટ ફોર પ્રીચિંગ, એમ આપણે કહીએ છીએ. તેનો પહેલો ઉદ્દેશ આનંદ છે. વાર્તાનો પણ પહેલો ઉદ્દેશ આનંદ છે, પછી સબસિડરી ઘણા બધા હોઈ શકે. તો આવા સાહિત્યની શરૂઆત આપણે ત્યાં બાલ સાહિત્યની મોટે ભાગે કરી અને ખૂબ જ આપણને નામાંકિત એવા બાલ સાહિત્યકારો મળ્યા. બીજુભાઈ તો માત્ર સાહિત્ય સર્જન કે સાહિત્ય સંપાદિતથી ન અટકી ગયા, પરંતુ દુનિયામાં કદાચ એકમાત્ર એમણે શાસ્ત્ર પણ આપ્યું. વાર્તાનું શાસ્ત્ર એ દુનિયામાં કદાચ પહેલું શાસ્ત્ર છે, અત્યાર સુધી બીજું કોઈ ધ્યાનમાં આવ્યું નથી. તો આ એક પરંપરાને આગળ લઈ જવાની જવાબદારી બાળ સાહિત્યને ખૂબ જરૂર છે. કારણ કે સાહિત્યનું સ્વરૂપ ન બદલાય, પરંતુ એના વિષયો છે એ બદલતા રહેવા જરૂરી છે. કેટલીક વાર્તાઓના સંદર્ભો બદલાયા છે, ગીતોના પણ સંદર્ભો બદલાયા છે, એમાં જે વપરાતા શબ્દોના કે પરિસ્થિતિના. ત્યારે નવી પરિસ્થિતિ પ્રમાણે આપણે એને કેવી રીતે શેપ આપીએ અને દુનિયાભરમાં શું ચાલે છે એવા પ્રવાહોથી અવગત થવા માટે આ કોન્ફરન્સનું આયોજન થયું છે. આપ સૌનું હૃદયપૂર્વક હું સ્વાગત કરું છું. વિશેષ સમય ન લેતા માનનીય મંત્રીશ્રી વિધાનસભાનું સત્ર ચાલુ છે, છતાં પણ આજે પ્રશ્નોત્તરી છે, એમને ત્યાં જવાબ આપવાનો છે, છતાં પણ આટલી વ્યસ્તતા વચ્ચે આપણી વચ્ચે ઉપસ્થિત રહ્યા છે. એ જેની શિક્ષણની ચિંતા છે એ બતાવે છે. હું ફરીથી એમનું હૃદયપૂર્વક સ્વાગત કરું છું. આપ સૌનો આભાર. થેન્ક યુ. જય જય ગરવી.
Thank you so much, sir, for your profound and insightful address. Your vision and guidance always inspire all of us. And now we arrive at the truly special moment. We welcome our special guest, a versatile personality and who has excelled across multiple fields with grace and talents, from winning the title of Miss India to making a mark in cinema, and then redefining education as a Global Teacher Prize top 10 finalist. She has continuously reinvented herself, proving that true success lies in making a difference. As a life skill trainer and as an educator, she has touched countless lives, inspiring young minds and empowering educators with innovative teaching methodology. Let's invite Ma'am Swaroop Sampath Rawal, ma'am, with a big hand to deliver the special guest address. Welcome, ma'am.
No, I'm okay. I'd like to stand here. Thank you. Very good morning to everybody. Namaste. Honorable Minister Praful Bhai, Joshi Saib, and all the dignitaries on the dais. I am so happy to be here. And I'm going to actually, I've been given a very short time to talk. I can sit and talk to you for hours over this beautiful topic of children and literature. But I'm going to make it very short and hopefully set a theme to rethink literature. Can I have the PPT? So I'm going to be talking about our oral tradition, which is what it is about, you know. So I've named it Melody, Movement, and Memory. We'll tell you further about it. Can we have the next slide and the slide after that? So this is where our tradition of literature started, in our grandmother's laps. મને તો ખબર છે કે હું બધું બાના ખોળામાં બેસીને બહુ બધી વાર્તાઓ સાંભળતી હતી અને એ બધી વાર્તાઓ પાછી આવે છે and you think, wow, બાએ મને આ વાર્તા કીધેલી ને આ વાર્તા કીધેલી. So yes, it starts orally and that's how it was. To go aside a bit, we should be very thankful for our oral tradition because of the years of two colonizations, especially the Islamic colonization. All our tradition would have been destroyed if it wasn't for the oral tradition. So for heaven's sakes, don't look down on oral tradition. Can I have the next slide? But even though it was oral, we have to understand that it has been meticulously codified in the Vedas, in our Itihas. Please note the word, and that's the word we should be using. We are not talking of mythology of Ramayana and Mahabharata. We are talking about India's great Bharat's Itihas. And these are all a part of our Indian knowledge system, indigenous knowledge. So we must be very proud of it. Next slide, please. So, but Indian knowledge system integrates literature, music, dance, art, and it offers for multiple intelligence. And that's what I want to talk to you about, that of course, literature technically means things that are written down, but how do we interpret it? And like Saib said, there is one which I have not talked about yet, even though we've got a film department, film. Well, all of this depends on literature. So can I have the next slide? I think we should be very, very proud and forever proud of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And please, for heaven's sakes, don't tell me, yeah, been there, done that. No. You see, UNESCO itself says that these are the two best epics written in the world. And they should be taught for the goodness of humanity. So I think we should be very proud of it and bindas talk about Mahabharata and Ramayana. Next. So these are the two. I've just put two pictures because the next part of my slides are going to be pictures. We have Ram and we have Arjun. I purposely didn't put the battle scene because that's what everybody puts. So there are lots of more stories in the Mahabharata, not only the battle and not only the Gita. Next. This is one very beautiful thing about our thing, is that we recite it, we sing our literature. And can you play this for me? I've just put a minute because in a 10-minute talk I can't put more. But you must hear these girls singing. Put it up the volume.
श्री राम को देखते ही रहती है, देखती ही रहती है। कुछ देर बाद श्री राम की दृष्टि उन पर पड़ती है। वह दोनों एक दूसरे को निहारते रहते हैं। तब सीता माता मन ही मन कहती है, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कानियाँ पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कानियाँ पे, बलिहार राघवरी, बलिहार राघवरी। तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कानियाँ पे, तेरी मंद मंद मुस्कानियाँ पे, बलिहार राघवरी, बलिहार राघवरी।
थैंक यू. कैन आई गो बैक टू द स्लाइड? सो एक्चुअली ये गाना तो बहुत लंबा है और उन्होंने बहुत अच्छी तरह से गाया. मैंने ये स्टेज पे से रिकॉर्ड किया, ये प्रोफेशनली रिकॉर्ड भी नहीं किया. ये लड़कियां घर जाके गाती है रामायण. This is our tradition. Can we have the next slide? And this, Amraj thoda ko wakhat pehla you heard my students from Lavard School. Where is my principal? She's here somewhere. Yeah, there she is, Nima. Emni school ma they learned the Aditya Hridanam. પણ હમે આદિત્ય હૃદયમ સ્તોત્ર તરીકે જ શીખવાડો છો, વાર્તા નહીં. Like all the chalisas of all the gods. Hanuman Chalisa. Can you give me another literature which has a description as beautiful as the Hanuman Chalisa? Why? અમે કેમ આપણે આટલા લિમિટેડ રહીએ છીએ? And we say, no, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Stotras, all done. No, they are not done. They will never be done. જ્યાં સુધી ભારતવર્ષ છે ત્યાં સુધી they will never be done. Next slide. Besides literature in our walls of our temples, you saw that picture with જ્યારે અમે છોકરાઓને મોઢેરા લઈ ગયા હતા, ત્યાં અમને બધી રામાયણની વાર્તાઓ જોઈ, and they saw about the Surya Dev and all that. So this is literature too. The next slide. This is one I want to share with you very much. કેમ કે હું એક આર્ટિસ્ટ છું, like a painter, fine arts and applied arts. This is Patchitra from Rajasthan. આ આખી વાર્તા એક પેઇન્ટિંગમાં છે. So you begin from the right, left, and you go to the right, and then you come down, and by the time you come to the end, the right hand lower corner, આખી વાર્તા છે. This is very old tradition. Comic books તો હમણાં આવ્યા છે. આપણા પાસે આ comic bookની સ્ટાઇલ પહેલાથી હતી. This is literature. Okay? Next. Then dance. Dance is literature. Again. And એના માટે બી we should be very thankful કેમ કે જ્યારે એ ટાઈમ હતો કે તમે કથા નહીં કરી સકો, તમે વાર્તાઓ નહીં કહી સકો, તમે લિટરેચર બુક્સ આપણી બાળી નાખી હતી, ત્યારે આ લોકોએ આપણું લિટરેચર પ્રિઝર્વ કર્યું છે. કેન વી હેવ ધ સ્લાઇડ્સ? Kathakali means storyteller. So children's literature is about stories, right? It's about fun, entertainment, and lots of learning. So Kathakali, the next two slides, next slide, yeah. Bharatnatyam, Odissi, Kathak. And because of time, I've not even put our folk dancers and our garbas and everything. But this is all storytelling and this is all literature. Can I have the next slide? So I just want to tell one very small thing is that we need to understand literature can be now interpreted in different ways. And it should be. It's about listening and reading stories to the children, to introduce them to values, custom, collective history. Just imagine teaching the Indus Valley as a literature story. Saraswati Sindhu Sanskriti, જ્યાંથી આપણે બધા જ આવ્યા છે. And that should continue, our civilization. And so literature is very important. But before I end, મારે એ કહેવું છે કે our literature has a great message for the global world, the global audience. And that is, the great gateway to the global audience, where cultural, spiritual, and our ethical heritage can share and give a great message to the world. Thank you. That's the end, I think. Yeah. Thanks. So I think we should reconsider how we look at literature and how literature is presented. For example, my children would have never learned the stotra if I taught it to them as a stotra. But I taught it to them as a story, and I give it to them on paper as literature. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an interesting speech and such an artistic presentation. Now, we move on to a very special moment of book release. So we have one book written by our honorable special guest, Mrs. Swarup Sampath Rawal, ma'am. The book is Life Skill Education Through Drama, an Interactive Manual for Growth, authored by ma'am. And we have the Gujarati version of it. We are going to releasing the book. Play, practice. Please show the title so that everyone can see it. All the dignitaries are requested to unveil this book. Let's have a big hand for this precious book. Valuable book, bringing together drama-based techniques to cultivate essential life skills, making learning more engaging and interactive and impactful. Congratulations, ma'am, on this wonderful achievement. You can see it is translated in so many languages, and we are very lucky to have in Gujarati. Yes, that's why we are a lucky one, because we are dealing with the children and children's education. So it will be very helpful how to practice with drama-based education, and this will guide all of us. Thank you so much. Today we have the series of book releasing. Now second book, I would like to invite authors, editors of these 11 books from Children's Research University. I invite both the editors, Dr. Krunal Panchal and Dr. Nilesh Bhai Pandya, the registrar of this university. And this is the 11 compiled book of Bal Vishwa magazine. These all books covering child development, education, examination, nutrition, and more. Inspired by visionary leadership of Dr. Harshad Bhai Patel, Professor Sanjay Gupta sir, Dr. T.S. Joshi sir. This book provides quality resources for the schools and families. We extend our gratitude to Professor Mahendra Chotalia sir, Principal Nitin Bhai Pethani sir for their valuable contributions as reviewers and editorial board members. Thank you so much. And last, third book releasing, I request once again all the dignitaries to unveil this book named Shishu Sangopan. This book is authored by Dr. Rupam Upadhyay and Divya Rawal. Let's have a big hand for both the fraternities of Children's Research University. This book serves as a vital guide for parents, caretakers, caregivers, and educators. Many, many congratulations to both the authors. Thank you so much, sir. Please take your seat. And now we arrive at a moment of the most significant moment of this gathering, an address from a leader whose vision and dedication continue to shape the educational future of Gujarat. Shri Prafulbhai Pansaria sir, Honorable Education Minister of Gujarat, has been at the forefront of educational reforms, championing initiatives that foster academic excellence, innovations, and holistic learning. His leadership has played a pivotal role in strengthening Gujarat's education system and ensuring that quality learning reaches every student. With deep respect, I request Honorable Education Minister of Gujarat, let's welcome him with a resounding round of big applause. Please, sir.
वंदे मातरम। डायस पर विराजमान डॉक्टर टी.एस. जोशी, वीसी चिल्ड्रन यूनिवर्सिटी, डॉक्टर स्वरूप संपत रावल जी, प्रोफेसर आर.सी. पटेल, डॉक्टर नीलेश पंड्या, प्रोफेसर प्रशांत भाई पटेल अने आपना सौना भद्रायु भाई, उपस्थित सौ सारस्वत मित्रों, बाळकोना एज्युकेशन माटे આપણી પરંપરા પુરાણી છે અને શ્રેષ્ઠ છે. બાળકના જન્મ પહેલાં પણ એમના કેર કઈ રીતે કરવું એ આપણા 16 સંસ્કારોમાંના વાત છે. તો આપણે પૃથ્વી પર આવ્યા પછી એક મનુષ્ય જ એવું છે કે જેને એજ્યુકેશન આપવું પડે. કોઈ ચકલીને નથી આપવું પડ્યું, કોઈ કાગડાને નથી આપવું પડ્યું, કારણ કે આપને બુદ્ધિ આપી છે. એટલે જ અવળચંડાઈ પણ આપે. બુદ્ધિ આવે ત્યાં એવું થાય ને, તર્ક. અને આ તર્કને પોઝિટિવ ગતિ પર આપવું એને બાળ સંસ્કાર આપણે કહી રહ્યા છીએ. પુરાણી શિક્ષા પદ્ધતિની અંદર, માનો કે રામાયણની અંદર રામના શિક્ષણ આપતા ત્યારે ગુરુકુળ પરંપરાની અંદર એને ખબર જ ન પડે એ રીતે શિક્ષણ જંગલમાં લઈ જાય. વનસ્પતિનો આ વનસ્પતિ છે, આ છે, આનું આમ થાય છે, આ થાય છે. રાત્રે સૂતા હોય ને અવકાશનું અવલોકન કરે, ખગોળીય જ્ઞાન આપે. એક બોન્ડિંગ એમને ખબર જ ન પડે બાળકને કે મેં શિક્ષણ પ્રાપ્ત કર્યું છે. આનું નામ રિયલ શિક્ષા પ્રાપ્ત કહેવાય. ઢીકા મારી મારીને ABCD શીખવાડે. પોએટ બોલ, આપણે જઈ ભાઈ હવે એની બોલે તો હું બોલી જાય, પણ એને ત્રાસ કરો જે ખબર ઘણી ઘેરી જે બેટા બોલ અંકલ આવ્યા છે, હવે એને રમવું હોય. યુગની અંદર તમે બાળકને આર્ટિફિશિયલ બનાવવું છે. જેમ ટેકનોલોજીનો ઉપયોગ થઈ રહ્યો છે એ રીતે ઘડી થાય તો પકડીને સ્કેટિંગમાં કે મારો છોકરો સ્કેટિંગ કરશે, ત્યાંથી ઉચકાવે વગડો મીંદરો ઓલો બચ્ચાને ઉપડાવે, એમ ત્યાંથી ડાન્સિંગમાં જાય, ત્યાંથી જાય તો કે આર્ટમાં ચિત્ર દોરો ત્યાં મૂકી આવે. તમારે શું કરવું છે એ ખબર નથી પડતી. તો શિક્ષા એ આપણા સામાજિક વાતાવરણ એના પર સ્પર્શતું હોય છે. આનું નામ શિક્ષા છે. ઘરનું વાતાવરણ, કુટુંબનું. ક્યારે હું તો એમ કહું, બાળકોને બેન ભણાવવા કરતાં વાલીઓને ભણાવવાની જરૂર છે. ક્યાંય દાદી રહેવા નથી દીધા, દાદા રહેવા નથી દીધા. સંયુક્ત ફેમિલીની આખું કુટુંબ વ્યવસ્થા ખલાસ કરી નાખી. મૂળ બેજ તેનો ત્યાં છે. એક વ્યક્તિ ડૉક્ટર પાસે ગયો કે હું અહીંયા આડું તોય દુખે છે, અહીંયા આડું તો દુખે, અહીંયા આડું તો દુખે, અહીંયા આડું. ડૉક્ટરે આખો સ્કેન કર્યો, આને શું છે પ્રશ્ન, પણ એને આંગળી દુખતી હતી. અને તું ભાઈ ગમીને આડે દુખે જ ને, એના જેવી પરિસ્થિતિ કરી છે આપણે. એક બાળકને આત્મહત્યા કરવાનો વિચાર કેમ આવે? સાહેબ, આપણી શિક્ષણ વ્યવસ્થામાં અને કુટુંબ વ્યવસ્થાની ખામી છે. યાદ રાખજો. આપણે દાદા નથી રહેવા દીધા, દાદી પાસે વાર્તા નથી સાંભળીને. સરસ વાત કરી. ક્યારે વાર્તા આપણું કેટલું પંચતંત્રની દરેક વાત પાછળનો હેતુ છે, મર્મ છે. અને બાળક શીખી જાય ત્યાં સુધી એને આત્મીયતા થાય, એક ફિલિંગ્સ વાળું નાગરિક બને. આ નાગરિકના નિર્માણ માટે એને તમે ભૂલે જ છો કે બાળકને, અમે તો પ્રાથમિક શાળામાં નાનું એવું કામ કરે, બાળક નાનું ઝાડુ લઈને વાળા, ત્યાં તો હા થઈ જાય. બાળક પાસે કામ કરાવ્યું, આ કરાવ્યું, એને કરવા દો. એમને ગમે છે કરવા દો. અમે નાના ગામડામાં હતા ત્યારે આ બેગલેસ તો હમણાં આવ્યું, પછી પેલા પાદર એટલે ગામના ગોંદરે ઓલા વાસણ રિપેર કરવા આવે, ખબર ને, કલય કરવા, ત્યાં બેસી જઈ, સ્કૂલ જ ન જાય. એ અમારું બેગલેસ સ્કૂલ પેલું થઈ ગયું. ક્યારેક એવું થાય કે કુંભાર ગામમાં બધા જ હોય, કુંભારો ત્યાં વયા જાય, માટીનું કેમ બનાવી, આખો દિવસ ત્યાં કાઢી નાખીએ. બીજે દિવસે પનિશમેન્ટ સાહેબ કરે ત્યાં સાંભળી લઈએ. અને એમાં ત્યારે સાયકોલોજીનું બેન ખબર જ ન પડતી. મારે એટલે દુઃખ લાગે, દુઃખ લાગતું જ નહીં. 2 દિવસ શિક્ષકે માર્યા ન હોય તો આપણે એમ થાય સાહેબ ભૂલી ગયા લાગે છે. આ વાસ્તવિકતા છે, આ વાસ્તવિકતા છે. હું ભણ્યો છું એ ગામડાની અંદર, એકદમ નાનું એવું ગામડું, 15 વર્ષ ગામડાની. પછી અમે શહેર જોયું હતું. ક્યારે શહેર જોવાનો વારો જ નહોતો. હમણાં અમારે બહુ સરસ અમારી ચિંતન શિબિર સોમનાથ હતી, અને સોમનાથ મંદિરની પાછળ જ આખું ડોમ બનાવ્યું, અને બધા જ મંત્રી, આઈએસ ઓફિસરનું 3 દિવસનું શિબિર હતું. પછી 2 કલાક એવું રાખ્યું હતું, પોતપોતાનો અનુભવ કરે, કે કોઈ આઈએસ ઓફિસર, એનું નાનપણનો, બધા મંત્રીઓ. હું ગયો, મેં તો મારો સંબંધ આ સ્થળ સાથે બહુ સરસ રીતે સંકળાયેલો છે, મારી યાદો છે અહીંયા. તો બધા કે શું છે? મેં કહી દઉં કે હા, મેં પહેલાં મંદિરની પાછળથી દાદર હતો. સોમનાથ પહેલાં જોયું હશે ને, ખ્યાલ આવે ત્યારે. અત્યારે સિક્યુરિટીની એવી નહોતી, ને અમને બસમાં પ્રવાસમાં લઈ ગયેલા. ત્યાં વહેલો દરિયો જોયો. એટલે ત્યાં શિક્ષકની પરમિશન વગર તો નીચે ઉતરાય, પણ થોડીક ઉત્સાહ ઉમંગમાં હું દોડીને ઉતરીને નદીના પેલા સમુદ્રના પાણીને અડીયો ને એના શંખ વીણવા માંડ્યો. એ સાહેબ જોઈ ગયા અમારા. પછી તમને ખબર, એ સ્થળે આવીને મને લપાટે મારેલો. એ સ્થળે હું ચિંતન શિબિરમાં હતો. મેં આ સ્થળ મારું. દુનિયાની અંદર સ્પેન્સરના સિદ્ધાંત શિક્ષણના ટોલ્સ્ટોએ પણ સરસ વાત કરી છે કે બાળક 5 વર્ષથી 7 વર્ષ હોય ને ત્યાં સુધીમાં બધું એના સોફ્ટવેર ગોઠવાઈ જાય. પછી તમે જે ભણાવો છો, કોલેજ કરો છો વગેરે, એ તો રંગરોગાન છે સાહેબ. યાદ રાખજો. સ્પેન્સર તમે વાંચજો, ગેજોભાઈ બધે કાં વાંચી લો એટલે બધું આવી જશે. પણ તો દુનિયાના કેટલા ફિલોસોફરો છે જેમણે વાત કરી. તો આ પંચતંત્રની વાર્તા જીવંત કરવી એ બાળક માટે એને ગમશે. તમે જોજો, ગાંધી નાટક આ બધું જ એના આપણા જીવન ચરિત્રની અંદર ખૂબ ઉપયોગી હોય છે. ગાંધીજીએના બાળપણની અંદર રાજા હરિશ્ચંદ્રની નાટક જોયેલું. સાહેબ, એક સત્ય એના મસ્તિષ્કની અંદર ઠસોઠસ ભરાઈ ગયું. સત્ય છોડ્યું નહીં. સત્યના પ્રેમિંગમાં દુનિયાનો સૌથી મહામાનવ ગાંધી બન્યા. જે કે બાળપણની અંદર એક વાત મુકાઈ જાય તો આ તો ગીત કેવા કેવલ તેજસ્વી યૌવનને નિરખી મૃત્યુ પણ અંજા, એ જ યુવાની સાચી જેનું જગમાં પૂજનતા. નાચિકેત યૌવનને નિરખી મૃત્યુ પણ અંજા. કેવું નચિકેતા, કેટલા બાળ. મેં હમણાં એક દિવસ મારા ઓફિસમાં મેં 78 ચરિત્રો લખ્યા મારી બુકની અંદર, જે મેં વાંચ્યા હતા. આ 78 થી 100 150 બાળ ચરિત્રો અને તેજસ્વી વાતો એ બાળ મંદિરથી લઈને કોલેજ સુધી એકવાર ભણવો જ જોઈએ વિદ્યાર્થી. સાચી કેળવણી સાહેબ એ છે. હું હમણાંની પણ 5 વર્ષ પહેલાં એક શાળામાં ગયો. શાળાનું નામ નચિકેતા. પછી બાળકો સાથે વાર્તાલાપ કર્યો. મેં નચિકેતા કોને ખબર છે? નચિકેતા કોણ હતા? એકેયને ખબર નહોતી. જે શાળાનું નામ નચિકેતા. કોની ખામી છે? કંઈ નામ ધારણ કરવાથી તો કેટલી પરાક્રમ વૃત્તિ, પ્રલોભનોથી ડરે નહીં. બાળકને નાનપણથી શીખવાડ્યું હોય તો ભાઈ તું આમ મોટો થઈશ તને આમ થશે તે થશે, પ્રલોભનથી ડરવું નહીં. એ નાચિકેતી વૃત્તિ આ બાળકને શીખવાડ્યું છે નથી. આપણે તો એને પેલી પદ્ધતિ, મારું બાળક રેસનો ઘોડો, મારું બાળક એટલે 95% લઈ આવે ને ઉપર 2 પોઈન્ટ ઓછા આવ્યા તો રોકકળાટ થઈ જાય. આ માટે બધાને તમારે ડૉક્ટર બનાવી દેવા, બધાને એન્જિનિયર બનાવે તો દવા લેવા જશે કોણ કોની પાસે? કોઈ તો કંઈ કરવું પડશે. તો પહેલું ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિની અંદર મૂલ્યનિષ્ઠતા એ આપણું સિદ્ધાંતોથી હરિશ્ચંદ્ર વાંચીએ. સિદ્ધાંતો કેટલા દેખીરો કરે. પાછા ઘરે જઈને પૂછને ભાઈ મેં એસા ક્યું, અમને હું કામ હેરાન કર. આવા ગીતો આવું કંઈક એમને આજે તમે જુઓ ટીવી પર નખરી ગમે એવી ગાડી ચલાવે, કોનો વાંક છે સાહેબ? બાળક એ છોકરાનો વાંક છે? એ મમ્મી પપ્પાનો વાંક છે. એક બાપ પોતાના દીકરા કે દીકરી સામે સિગારેટ પીતો હોય તો એ બહુ ખરાબ કહેવાય છે સાહેબ. આ વાત આપણે બાળક જ એવું નિર્માણ કરે તેજસ્વીતા તો કેટલું મોટું સમાજની અંદર કામ થઈ શકે. અને હું જોઈ રહ્યો છું આવનારા સમયમાં સાહેબ સુખની પાછળ ભાગીને દુઃખી થવાનું. તમે એવું સમજો છો કે આર્ટિફિશિયલ ઇન્ટેલિજન્સ આવી ગયું એટલે આપણે સાહેબ લાગણી વિહોણો માણસ બની જશે. પછી મમ્મીને નહીં પૂછે કે મને આવું થાય, ગૂગલને પૂછશે કે ગૂગલ આ શું છે. સંવાદો બ્રેક થતા જશે. એક મોબાઈલમાં લઈને ખૂણામાં જ બેઠું હું કરે ખબર નહીં. તો આ કૃત્રિમ યુગની અંદર આપણે પ્રકૃતિ તરફ જવું એ એજ્યુકેશન. ગાર્ડન નહીં, તમે જોજો આ હું ભદ્રાયુભાઈ બહુ વહેલા બોલી રહ્યો છો. વાલી કહેશે કે મારા બાળકને મેં એક સ્કૂલમાં મૂક્યો છે, ત્યાં રિયલ મેંગો ટ્રી છે. હા, એને મેંગો પણ જોજો. સમજો, આ દૂર નથી. રિયલ મેંગો છે, એને બધું જ રિયલ છે. ત્યાં તમે 5 સ્ટાર હોટલની જગ્યાએ ફરવા જશો ને કોઈ ગામડાની અંદર બુક કર. આ દિવાળી હું એક ગામની અંદર જઈશ, ત્યાં ખેતરે જઈશ, ત્યાં નદીમાં જઈશ. આ બધી વાતો હું બહુ અગાઉ કહી રહ્યો છું, દૂર નથી. લાગણી વિહોણા માણસને બનાવવાનું એટલે ટેકનોલોજી દુનિયાનો ઉપયોગ કરીશું, પણ અતિરેક થઈ ચૂક્યો છે સાહેબ. કેટલા માનવ કલાક વેસ્ટ ઓફ ટાઈમમાં કોકની, મેં સાહેબ કીધું કોકનું આપણે જોયા કરો. આપણે શું પહેરવું જોઈએ, કયો સાબુ, એ ટીવીની મીડિયાવાળા નક્કી કરે એટલે આપણે લઈ આવી. તમે સમજ્યા? 1 થી 7 ધોરણ બેન અમે ભણ્યા, સાબુથી નવાઈ ખબર જ નહોતી. મારો અનુભવ કહું છું. સાબુથી નવાઈ માટી હોય કે ઘસીને પેલું કરી દે તો એ અમે જાણ્યું. તો લોકશાળા, લોક ભારતી, આ બધી શિક્ષા વ્યવસ્થા આપણી આ નવી શિક્ષા પદ્ધતિને લગભગ મેચ થઈ રહી છે સાહેબ. આપણે શું છે બહુ આમ પેલું વિદેશના કે કોઈ માણસ સૂટ બૂટ પહેરાવી દો એટલે આપણે ઇમ્પ્રેસ થઈ જાય કે હો સૂટ બૂટ પહેર્યું છે. આપણી પાસે મૂળ, આપણે હું બોલું હરણના ડોટીમાં જ કસ્તુરી હોય પણ એ બહાર બધે ફાફા મારે કે હું અહીંયા જઈશ, હું અહીંયા જઈશ. આપણી મૂળ એ સાદાય પહેલું. તે નાનું એવું ટાબર્યું તો એને બ્રાન્ડેડ સિવાય હાલે નહીં. એનું ચડ્ડી લેવા જવું તો બ્રાન્ડેડ જોઈએ, સમજી લો. તો આ બધી બાબતોમાં પહેલાં તો રેડિયો કાંતીને જે પછી સ્ટોરમાં દઈ આવી, ત્યાં ખાખી ચડ્ડી આપતા પહેલાં, વ્હાઈટ શર્ટ, ભદ્રાયુભાઈ. તો આ જે આનંદ હતો એ આનંદ મૃતપાય. તમે જોજો બધા આખો દિવસ આમ કરું, રાત્રે આપણે સુખી થઈએ છીએ ખરા? આ શિક્ષણ આ મૂળ તત્વ છે. માણસ, હું ભૂતાનના રાજાના વાઇબ્રન્ટ સમિટની અંદર બેઠો હતો, એમની રાજકુમાર સાથે. એમના ત્યાં હેપીનેસ મંત્રાલય બેન, ત્યાં ખુશ રહે. કેમ? માણસના ફેસ ઉપર સ્મિત આવે એ રીતનું આખું એનું પ્લાનિંગ. એક પણ વૃક્ષ નહીં કાપવાનું, ગમે એટલું પહેલું થાય, પર્યાવરણ ડિસ્ટર્બ ન થાય. આ ભૂતાન આપણી બાજુનું, મેં એને ઘણી વાત કરી. આપણી ત્યાં એને માણસને હસવું, ખેલવું, 10 વર્ષ પછી 15 વર્ષ પછી સન્માન થશે સ્ટેજ ઉપર. આ ભાઈ હસે છે તો એનું સન્માન કરો. એવા પણ સન્માન થશે કે આ ભાઈ 5 વર્ષથી ભદ્રાયુભાઈ મોબાઈલ નથી વાળો, લાવો લાવો એનું સન્માન કરીએ. આ સન્માનની વ્યાખ્યાઓ બદલાઈ જશે સાહેબ. કેટલું બધું આપણે શિક્ષણ પાછળ. કાલે જ મેં વિધાનસભામાં ગીજુભાઈ બધેકાને યાદ કર્યા હતા. શિક્ષણ હોય ને ગીજુભાઈ બધેકા યાદ ન કરીએ તો મારે એક જવાબ આપવાનો થયો સાહેબ. તો આ વાત એકદમ બાળકને ખબર ન પડે એ રીતે ત્યાં સુધી. આ તો શિક્ષક પણ કોને બનવું જોઈએ એ ગીજુભાઈ કહ્યું છે. કોને બનવું જોઈએ? ક્યાંય ન મળે ચાલો આમાં ફોર્મ ભરી એમ નહીં. આત્મીયતા છે મારી, મને એની પ્રત્યે ફિલિંગ્સ છે. મને એક રાષ્ટ્ર નિર્માણનું સૌથી શ્રેષ્ઠ કર્તવ્ય પ્રાપ્ત થયું છે. એને લખતા કરતાં એ મગજની અંદર વધુ ને વધુ થોટ ક્રિએટ કરે, એ વિચારે. એ ગામડાની અંદર તમે એવું, હું એક દિવસ આખો દિવસ સાસણગીરના જંગલની અંદર નેસની સ્કૂલોની અંદર મુલાકાત લેવા ગયેલો. લગભગ બોર્ડરના બધા જ ગામો કે ટ્રાઇબલની અંદર હું જઉં છું. કેટલું ટેલેન્ટ છે સાહેબ. બધા ત્યાં નેસમાં રહે, કોઈ નેટવર્ક ના પકડાય એટલે પંચાયત નહીં બિલકુલ. અને નેટવર્ક ન પકડાવાથી આ બધા ખૂબ હેપી છે. મને એક ભાઈ કે આ બધાને અહીંયા શહેરમાં, મેં ભાઈ એ સુખી છે તેને રહેવા દે ને ભાઈ, પ્રકૃતિમાં બહુ મસ્ત જીવન છે. એક નાની એવી દેવાંશી, મારો મેં ફેસબુક ઉપર આખા વિડીયો મૂક્યા હતા ત્યારે, હા ખજૂરીને, મને આંગળી ચાલો મારા ઘરે ને, તું ક્યાં રહે છે કે મેં ચાલો ભાઈ બેન કહે છે એટલે લઈ ગયા એના ઘરે. કેટલી ત્યાં એમના મમ્મી આવ્યા, એકદમ ઝૂંપડા ટાઈપના બધા મકાનો. પછી મને એમને ભેંસ બતાવી, એનું વાછરડાનું નામ બતાવ્યું. સાહેબ આ શિક્ષણ આપણે બહુ પ્રાપ્ત નથી કરી છે. આપને એવું લાગે છે ક્યાં છેવાડા સુધી, પછી એને ગીત ગાયા, બધું સંસ્કૃતિ એની. સાહેબ, આ જે આનંદ છે બાળકનો આપણે મારી રહ્યા છીએ. કેટલું એને ટાઈ પહેરાવીને આમ ટાઈટ કરી દે. તમે એને ફ્રી હોવું જોઈએ. એને ભાઈ કોટ નથી ફાવતો, ભાઈ એને અમને રમવા દે. અમારે ત્યાં હું એક સ્કૂલમાં ગયો હતો, હાવ નાનું પહેલા ધોરણનું, એ શર્ટ કાઢની ને એમ રમતો. એ શિક્ષક છે ને કે સાયકોલોજીનું ભણેલા, મને કે અહીંયા હું જે બાળકને ગમે એ જ કરવા દે, એને શર્ટ નથી પહેરવો તો એ એમને રમે, રમવા દો, માટીમાં રમે. એ કે ક્લાસમાં ગમે બાળકને એવું થાય કે મારે બહાર જવું છે, ફૂલછોડારે રમવું, તો ત્યાં રમવા દે. આ વાસ્તવિકતા છે સાહેબ. એને છોડ પાસે લઈ, એક બાળકે ટેબલ ઉપર એક કીડી કે મકોડો જતો તો તરત મારી દીધો હાથ, મરી ગયો. પપ્પાએ આ જોયું, એને ના પાડી. બીજે દિવસે ફ્લેટની નીચે ઉતરીને હાથમાં વાટકી, એમાં લોટ અને ખાંડ, જ્યાં કીડીને એવું નીકળતું હતું ત્યાં બાળકને હારે લઈ ગયા ને થોડું કીડિયારું પૂરીને પાછા વહી આવ્યા. આવું એને 3, 4, 5 દિવસ કર્યું. બાળકને લઈ જાય જોડે. એને મેં ના પાડી જ નહીં, તે માર્યું શું કામ? બાળકને આત્મીયતા થાય. અને પછી એ પપ્પાએ પ્રયોગ કર્યો, પાછું ત્યાં એ કંઈક જીવડું મૂક્યું. જીવડા મૂક્યા ભેગું બાળક દોડ્યો અને છાલિયામાં લોટ લઈને જીવડાને નાખ્યો. સાહેબ, અહિંસાના પાઠો આ રીતે શીખવાડી શકાય બાળક માટે. ગામડાની અંદર દાદી આંગળી પકડીને અમે જતા, લોટનું કીડિયારું હોય ને ત્યાં કીડી. સાહેબ, આવું સૂક્ષ્મ જીવ પણ પૃથ્વી પર મહત્વનું છે. આ મહત્તમ બાળકને નાનપણથી નાખવે. સાહેબ, પર્યાવરણ આ છે, પર્યાવરણની વાતો આ છે. બાળપણની સાહેબ કેટલું જ્ઞાતિવાદ, કેમ આવું થાય છે? કારણ કે આપણે નાનપણથી એને સદભાવનાના પાઠ શીખવાડતા ભૂલી ગયા. આપણે શું થાય છે, એમને એક સરસ નાની એક આપણે એમ કહીએ ને કે 12 વર્ષે ખોળો ભરાણો, તો એમને બહુ આનંદ હોય. એમના ઘરે દીકરાનો જન્મ થયો 12 વર્ષે, તો બેન સતત ને સતત એમને નવરાવ્યા કરે. બાળકને પાછું માસી લાવ્યા, એ ઘરેણા પહેરાવે, ઓમકાર પહેરાવે. એ ઓમકાર ખબર તમને? પહેલાં હવે તો સરસ સોનાનું આવી ગયું. પહેલાં પતરા જેવું આવતું, આપણે પહેરાવતા ગળું છોલાઈ જાય, પણ ઓમકાર મમ્મી પહેરાવે કે માસી આપ્યો છે, રોજ પહેરાવે. પણ બાળક નબળું પડતું છે. આ નબળું પડવાનું કારણ એમને બાજુના દાદીમાને પૂછ્યું કે હું આ રોજ નવરાવું છું, એને બધું જ કરું, ઘરેણાં પહેરાવું, નવા કપડાં પહેરાવું છું, પણ બાળક મારું નબળું પડતું જાય. ત્યારે દાદીએ કહ્યું, તું ટાઈમે એને સ્તનપાન કરાવે છે કે નહીં? એ તો હું ભૂલી જાઉં છું. બસ આપણે કંઈક આ કરી રહ્યા છીએ. આપણે માતૃત્વનું જે જ્ઞાન આપવાનું એ ભૂલી જઈએ છીએ, અને બહારની વસ્તુ બધી જ, મેં કહ્યું ને કે અંકલ આવ્યા છે, પોઈન્ટ બોલ, કવિતા બોલ, ઓલું બોલ, હવે એ કંઈ ખબર જ નથી પડતી, અને દોડ જ છે બધાને. તો આમાં આપણે સામા પાણીએ ચાલવા, હું જે વાત કરી રહ્યો છું સામા પાણીએ ચાલવાની વાત છે. તમે આપણે કમસે કમ આપણે જ્યાં છીએ ત્યાં એટલું તો વ્યવસ્થા કરીએ, એટલી તો સારી રીતે શિક્ષકનું શ્રેષ્ઠ નિર્માણ થાય. અને મેં જોયું છે, જે શાળાની સંચાલનમાં બાળકો સાથે જ્યાં બહેનો હોય છે ને, એ બાળકને માતૃત્વની એક ભાવના સાથે, મારો ઓબ્ઝર્વ છે કે આ ત્યાં જગ્યાએ બાળકને વધુ મજા આવતી હોય છે ને વધુ ફ્રીલીથી. આ મારું એક 2 વર્ષના શિક્ષણ મંત્રી તરીકે મેં જેટલો પ્રવાસ કર્યો એટલે નાના બાળકો હોય ટાબરિયા, એના માટે શિક્ષક કરતાં શિક્ષિકા બહેનો હોવી જોઈએ. બહુ સાચી વાત કરી રહ્યો, મેં જોયું છે. તો આ બધી જ બાબતો કઈ રીતે એને ખબર ન પડે એ રીતે મગજની અંદર શિક્ષણ આવી જાય, એનું નામ સાચું શિક્ષણ છે. ગોખણપટ્ટીથી કે પહેલાંથી કંઈ ના થાય. એનું ઓલું કહેવાય ને કે અનુભવો, ઘણીવાર અનુભવો શીખવાડતા હોય છે. પેલી વાંદરા અને ટોપીવાળો વાંદરો, આપણે કેટલી સરસ એ વાત કરતા હોય ને આપણે એટલા બધા આપણે એમ થાય જંગલમાં જ વયા ગયા છે. એક જંગલ હતું, એમાં ઝાડ હતું, આમ આમ કે એટલે આપણે આમ થાય જંગલ છે, ઝાડ છે, એટલું બધું. પેલી થાય ટોપીવાળો વાંદરો આવ્યો, ટોપીવાળો ભાઈ આવ્યો, વાંદરો ઉપર જોઈ રહ્યો હતો. પછી ટોપીવાળો સૂઈ ગયો ને ટોપી લઈને વાંદરાઓ વૃક્ષ પર ચડી ગયા. બહુ મજા આવે. પછી ટોપીવાળાને એના પપ્પાએ શીખવાડ્યું હતું, જ્યારે આવું વાંદરો કરે ત્યારે ટોપી નીચે નાખી દેવાનું, એટલે બધા જ વાંદરા ટોપી નીચે નાખી દેશે. તો ટોપીવાળાએ ટોપી નીચે નાખી, વાંદરાએ એક પણ ન નાખી. કે તને તારા પપ્પા શીખવાડી ગયા ટોપી નાખી દેવું ને એવું, તો અમને અમારા પપ્પા શીખવાડી ગયા હતા, ટોપી ન નાખી. વાસ્તવિકતા આ છે કે ભાઈ તને શીખવાડી ગયા તો અમને આ પરિવર્તન છે. હવે તમને કાગડાની વાર્તા આવશે. કુંજામાં પથ્થર નાખ્યા તો બાળક પૂછશે આપને, અંકલ ટ્રો નહોતી ત્યાં? હવે એને ટ્રો બતાવવી પડશે. સમય સાથે આપણે કરીશું, પણ કુમળા માનસ પર એવો અત્યાચાર ન થાય. એને મુક્ત રીતે એને ઘડવા દો, એને રમવા દો, માટી સાથે રમવા દો. એને બહુ યુનિફોર્મ સાથે એને બહુ લેવા દેવા કરવા કરતાં એને જે ગમે છે એ ગમે છે. તો આ બધી જ બાબતો છેલ્લે આમ તમને વાત કહીને હાસ્યની છે પણ માર્મિક છે. વાત કરું કે બાળક અંગૂઠો મોઢામાં નાખે, પછી એને તમે પકડો, પાછો લો ને તો પાછો નાખી દે, એટલે દાંત છે ને ત્રાંસા ઉગે એના, અને જડબાનું અનબેલેન્સ થઈ જાય. અંગૂઠો પટલો કરી નાખે, પછી એ કડવું ચોપડે, કંઈક સુદર્શન ફાકી, તો એમ અંગૂઠો અંદર ના એને સ્ટીકથી. પછી એક સાવ દેશી ગામડાના વ્યક્તિ આવ્યા ને કરે કે આ બાળક અંગૂઠો નાખે છે મોઢામાં. કે હા, એ કે મટતું જ બહાર કાઢતું જ નથી. તો શિક્ષણ કોને કહેવાય? એટલે એક પ્રેક્ટિકલ નોલેજ, જ્ઞાન કોને કહેવાય? કે ચાલો હું આનું સોલ્યુશન કરી દઉં છું. કે કઈ રીતે? કે આપણે દરજી પાસે જઈએ. પણ કે દરજી શું કરશે? કે મારી જોડે ચાલો. દરજીને એવું કહ્યું કે આને આ નાનું એવું ટાબરિયું હોય, એકાદ વર્ષનું, બોલવાય ન શીખ્યું હોય, કે આને છે ને 2 ચડ્ડી એવી સીવી દે કે 2 ઇંચ મોટી હોય. સીવી દીધી, ઘરે આવીને પહેરાવી, ચાલવા જાય ને મોઢામાં અંગૂઠો નાખી ત્યાં ચડ્ડી પડી જાય ને પકડી લે પાછું. એને કેવું જ ન પડે, આખો દી એમાં જ વ્યસ્ત રહે. ના, અંગૂઠો નાખતો ભૂલી ગયો. માટે આપ સૌ સારસ્વત છો, તમે જ્ઞાની છો. અહીંયા ખૂબ ડાયસ પર પણ સારસ્વત મિત્રો છે, અને આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ જ્ઞાનને પૂજનારી છે. અમે ઘણા પરિવર્તન કરી રહ્યા. શિક્ષા વિભાગની અંદર છેલ્લા 2 વર્ષની અંદર આમૂલ પરિવર્તન લાવવા માટે અનેક પ્રયોગો. આવનારા સમયમાં આપણે શું કરવું જોઈએ એ બાબતની ચર્ચા વિચારણા અને ન્યૂ એજ્યુકેશન પદ્ધતિને અમલીકરણ માટે તમારા જેવા બૌદ્ધિક લોકો આગળ આવશે તો ચોક્કસ રાષ્ટ્ર નિર્માણ થશે. આપ સૌનો આભાર વ્યક્ત કરું છું. અસ્તુ.
What a wonderful speech. I would like to say, Mitam hi saram hi, vacho hi vagvita. Real eloquence lies in such kind of enlightenment. Sir, you have really enlightened us with very light mode and full of Indian knowledge system. Now, I would like to request Honorable Vice Chancellor of IITE, Professor R.C. Patel, sir. जी सर. સર આપણા વચ્ચેથી રજા લઈ રહ્યા છે. પ્લીઝ રેઝ ફ્રોમ યોર સીટ્સ. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ ફોર ગ્રેસિંગ ધીસ. function, sir. We are very thankful to you. We all are very thankful to our Honorable Education Minister. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of IIT Gandhinagar to share few words as our guest of honor.
Good morning and namaskar to all of you. Sri Prafulbhai Pancheria in his absence, the Honorable Education Minister, Dr. T.S. Joshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Children's Research University, Professor Badrayu sir, our old mentor and guide, Dr. Swarup Sampath Rawal, Dr. Prasant Patel, and our international friends who have joined in an online mode. I can see Dr. Karan, Dr. Kusumkar from Nepal, and other friends who have joined in an online mode, invited guests, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I must congratulate the authorities of Children's Research University for organizing an international conference on such a topic which is very relevant, that is about connecting cultures, children's literature as a gateway. We all know, I have been of course asked to say only a few words, and I'll say only a few words. We all know about our culture. Culture is a shared tradition of customs, values, practices, food, tradition, and everything that we see in our society. And this culture is always evolving. This culture is always specific to a particular group of society. And then we know that one of the best ways to connect the culture is through literature, through trade, through art, music, and food and our other practices. Now, literature has always played a very significant role in not only transmitting the culture, but also in inculcating most important values. As Dr. Swarup Sampath and our Honorable Minister, both of them have highlighted, there are very important values which can be inculcated or which are inculcated through the literature in general and children's literature in particular. We know about our oral tradition of storytelling through the famous epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. And we also know about various work that has been done in our, not only in our country, but also in other countries. In our country, we all are aware about the work done by Gijubai Badeka, Ken Narayan, and several other people who have done a lot of work in children literature. But at this juncture, I'll just share one such very important children literature which is written by Eleanor Porter in a book entitled Pollyanna. I'm sure many of you must have read this book. Now, to this book, the author tries to convey the way we live in a society, the way we try to find happiness even in the hardest of the situation. In this story, Pollyanna, we all know, is a British orphan who didn't have any other option, but then who has to stay with her aunt, who was very rich. And then she was put into a very, very, very difficult kind of situation. But then, even in this difficult kind of situation, she always tried to find out the way to be happy. અને એને એ ગુજરાતીમાં એ રીતના કહેવામાં આવ્યું છે કે ખુશ રહેવાની રમતો. The way means how one can remain happy. So by this example of Pollyanna, what I am simply trying to say is, literature in general and children literature in particular has always played a vital role in transmitting the culture and also in inculcating most important values in our society. So with this, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the authorities of Children Research University for giving me this opportunity, and I also expect that at the end of the day, we will come with some other better ways of transmitting and preserving our culture and the value. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for delivering such an inspiring speech. And we are taking a sincere note of all the keynote speakers who have joined us from abroad. Are you getting my voice? Professor Dr. Karen Kotz from America. Professor Dr. Parin Somani from UK. Just wave your hand. Dr. Kusumakarji from Nepal. Wave your hand, sir, please. Namaskar. We all are taking your presence via Google Meet, and two of keynote speakers are there in the audience. One, Eknath Awaji, sir. We also take a sincere note of your presence over here. And one, Philip Ruchinski is yet on the way. He will shortly be reached over here. So just we are in a way to conclude this inaugural session, and back to back we will have plenary session. So for delivering vote of thanks, I invite Professor Dr. Sanjay Gupta, sir.
Namaste. On behalf of Children's Research University, I express my deepest gratitude towards all the dignitaries, all scholars, delegates, and everyone present here and contributing for the success of this particular international event, directly and indirectly. In fact, when Panseria sir was there, he made us so tight. Finally, he said, "चड्डी ढीली कर दो," और काम हो गया. तो अब हम सब ऐसी स्टेज में हैं, क्योंकि चड्डी ढीली है तो ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लिया जाएगा. But only thing is, his focus was practical solution of the problems. See, first of all, I would like to say sincere thanks to Praful Panseria sir, Honorable Education Minister of the state. Whenever I have met him, I have noted down one quality. I have not noted down. Everybody will note down because it is such a natural gesture in his case. He is so simple, always smiling, I don't know whether he knows or not, but his face is such, he is always smiling. And he believes like soil of the sun. So for all these qualities, in fact, I was writing when he was speaking, his qualities. Then finally I thought, leave it, because his qualities cannot be covered by a paper. Let me just tell you some qualities he said. Okay, leave it, otherwise, it will go a little long, in fact. His simplicity, when I was thinking about his nature, he is pure naturalist. He doesn't want to articulate anything in such a way that it becomes, something that is not natural. For everything, he goes in that way. So we again, as a Children University, say thanks to Panseria sir for delivering such an excellent speech and motivating us, inspiring us here. Let me express my thanks to Professor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor T.S. Joshi ji. He is our own, no need to say, but as a formality, let me say, he is always there, because I cannot cover his thanks in words. That's why I'm saying. He is always there to support us, always there to guide us, and he is not like Vice Chancellor, let me tell you. He is just like mentor for all of us, and all will agree to that. Clap for him. Swaroop Sampat ma'am. Ma'am, in fact, I am just indicated to complete in brief, but madam का नाम आता है, थोड़ा सा time लग जाएगा. Ma'am, आपसे मेरी पहली मुलाकात है, but I think I wanted to meet you since long. And thanks to Joshi sir, he made it possible for us. मैम, आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट है थोड़ी लाइटर मोड पर. आप तो आ गए, आपसे मिल लिए, बहुत अच्छा लगा. हम इंडिया की एक और पर्सनालिटी को जानते हैं, कभी आप मौका दे तो उनसे मुलाकात हो. आप सब नाम समझ गए होंगे मैं किसकी बात कर रहा हूं, और वो आप ही के बस में है, वो किसी के बस में नहीं है आपके सिवाय. परेश रावल सर, हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी का स्टेटस बहुत बढ़ जाएगा अगर वो एक बार हमारे यहाँ आएंगे तो. और आज आपके आने के बाद ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये उम्मीद हुई है हमें. थैंक यू सो मच. देन Bhadrayu sir, he is again like our member. I think we might have met not less than 5 times in this year. He is always there for all technical things, for all guidance, and he is that sort of man that he always remains, in such a way that he will guide you correctly. He will not try to motivate you. If you have ability, you catch the thing, he will keep you right. Whatever happens, that quality, nowadays, when people have become like, that sort of people, that they speak what people like, he doesn't speak. That is the quality. Clap for him for this thing. We have hardly such people. He always speaks what is right for us. So he has come and he has added to the glory of our program. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Honorable Vice Chancellor, IIT, Professor R.C. Patel, sir. He was my teacher, actually. Whenever he is there around, I again start feeling like a student. I start recollecting his sessions. He has that power, in fact, that he can teach entire statistics in 2 sessions, what we can't teach in 1 year as well. So clap for him. He is really wonderful teacher. We have attended those elaborated sessions as well as those crisp sessions. And we still remember those images in our mind. Thank you, sir. You are in Gandhinagar now, and we will take your benefit. Thank you. Thank you so much. Not finally, but our Nilesh Bhai, Dr. Nilesh Pandya ji, he has very good acumen of administration, and because of his, this ability, this particular international conference has become possible because he provided all administrative facilities, all administrative, easiness to all of us. Thank you so much. In fact, I should not forget ICSSR, I should not forget CUG, their contribution, their support financially or, intellectually. So we should, we should say thanks to them, and we should say thanks to all dignitaries, all guests, all experts, those who have joined online. Thank you so much. And this would be meaningless if I don't mention the name of the person who conceptualized it and brought it to this level. That is our own Professor Prashant Bhai. He thought about this. We really need to clap because he is the man behind entire show, direct. Like we all are there, but he is the man behind entire show. He conceptualized first ever international conference of Children University. In the history of Children University, this is the first international conference, so we should congratulate and motivate these people. We should congratulate him as well as his entire team. And finally, in fact, I have a lot more to say, but will not definitely. I say thanks to all dignitaries to release all the books and make available now for public to read. And at last, again, those who are directly or indirectly part of this particular conference, those who have supported in any way and all the way, I just say thanks to all of them. And with the one last words, I will end up my, this thanks, because it is not a speech I know. This is what I heard in MS University only, that I just want to tell you. R.C. Patel sir को देखा, याद आ गया, तो मन का उससे अच्छा और कुछ नहीं हो सकता. There was a program, and at the end of this session, in thanks only, this statement was said that it is for all of us. In fact, keep on coming in such type of events and keep on making this event successful. That was, somebody said कि मिलते रहेंगे तो जिंदा रहेंगे. But that professor in MS University said, भाई मैं कहता हूँ नहीं, जिंदा रहेंगे तो मिलते रहेंगे, जिंदा रहेंगे तो मिलते रहेंगे. तो मैं सबसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि जिंदा रहेंगे तो मिलते रहेंगे नहीं, जस्ट चेंज इट, मिलते रहेंगे तो जिंदा रहेंगे, मिलते रहेंगे तो जिंदा रहेंगे. थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you so much, Gupta sir. You have shared a lot of thanks for all, and I share a lot of thanks for you. All the dignitaries, may I request you, if you can spare some more time to attend our dignitaries, means our keynote speakers who are going to deliver their keynote addresses over here. If you can spare a few more times. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries, Honorable Vice Chancellor of IITE, Bhadrayu sir, Swarup ma'am, and we are really very happy to have such kind of renowned scholars among us for this conference. Thank you so much once again. We also take a sincere note of presence of Professor Dr. Philip Rucinski in our conference hall. Philip, yes, namaste. He is from Warsaw, Poland, and he will deliver today for Polish children's literature. Now, we are, all are requested to be seated over here only in the conference hall. We are very soon going to start plenary session, and for that, I would like to invite Dr. Parthvi Damor. Over to you, Dr. Damor.
Hello. We are now quickly switching to our plenary session. Before we begin this plenary session, I invite Professor Jagdish Joshi sir, Dr. Philip Rucinski, and Shri Eknath Avhade to please join us on stage. Dr. Philip Rucinski, please join us on stage. A very good morning to everyone. It is with a great pleasure that I, Dr. Parthvi Damor, welcome you all to this enlightening plenary session of our esteemed international conference on connecting cultures, children's literature as a global gateway. This session is dedicated to exploring the power of children's literature in bridging cultures, fostering empathy, and nurturing global understanding. Today, we are privileged to have with us distinguished experts from various parts of the world, each with a wealth of knowledge and insights to share. Three experts, Professor Karen Coates from America, Professor Parin Somani, she is from London's Organization of Skill Development, and Dr. Kusmakar Nupne from Nepal. They are joining with us by online mode. I welcome you all from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Children's Research University to this international conference. Today, together, our experts will illuminate how children's literature transcends border, building bridges of understanding between diverse communities worldwide. As a token of appreciation and respect, I request Dr. Krunal Panchal sir to present a memento with a book of Gijubai Badeka to Professor Jagdish Joshi sir as a symbol of enlightenment and learning. I request Dr. Rajesh Chauhan sir to present a memento of book to Dr. Philip Ruchinsky as a symbol of enlightenment and learning. I request Dr. Sanjay Patel sir to present a memento to Shri Eknath Avhade sir. Now, not wasting much time, we are very eager to hear our first speaker, Professor Karen Coates. Our first speaker needs no introduction in the world of literature. It is with great pleasure that we welcome a distinguished expert in the field of children's literature, Professor Karen Coates, who is joining us virtually on this plenary session. Dr. Coates is a professor of education and the director of Center of Research in Children's Literature at the University of Cambridge. Before this esteemed role, she has dedicated 21 years to teaching children's and young adult literature at Illinois State University. She also serves as a visiting associate professor at Hollins University's MA program in children's literature. Her research and publication have significantly contributed to the intersection of youth literature and literary theory. She is the author of several influential books, including Looking Glasses and Neverland's Lacan, Desire, and Subjectivity in Children's Literature, Children's Literature and the Developing Reader, and the Blossomberry Introduction to Children's and Young Adult Literature. Additionally, she has co-edited numerous critical works on children's and young adult literature. We are honored to have her with us by virtual means, and she is going to present on prominent themes in American children's literature. Ma'am, we are delighted to have you here. Over to you, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, we are unable to hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, we are unable to hear you.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, hello. Just a minute, ma'am. Just
that
we
okay,
are
good.
setting audio
Good.
in. Just a
Okay.
minute.
Excellent. Okay, if I could have my PowerPoint up, it might be
Yeah,
easier because I have a lot of
yeah. Now
pictures
you
of
are
books.
audible, ma'am. Now you are audible.
But I want to thank everybody for inviting me to this conference. I'm so excited to hear. I mean, the theme is very, very important. What I'm sharing today is, as I said, prominent themes in children's literature. So if I can have the next slide. Um, what I'll be giving is a brief history, because I think to understand the development of any cultural literacy or cultural literature, you have to start from its beginnings, um, as the previous speaker did, talking about your oral history. So I will do that, give you a little bit brief introduction, and then we'll talk about where things are now. They're not as exciting, I think, as some of the things that are going on in India in terms of multimodality. So I don't know that you can see my slides, but I'll just go ahead and start. I'm on the fourth slide, talking about what happened in the 18th and 19th century in American children's literature. We started with with imports from England in the U.S. And in 1660, there was a primer called the New England Primer, and it was dedicated to developing not only a nation of readers, but that readership came through a very strong Christian ideology. For those of you who know the history of the colonies, it was very prominently Puritans who brought literacies to. you earn your way through hard work. Ragged Dick is a rags to riches story. It's a kid who starts out poor, works really hard, pulls himself up by his bootstraps, and he's a very individualistic character. So that's kind of the very, very brief history of the 18th and 19th century. The next slide is moving into the 20th century. Now we have a new nation. We need a new national, and we're starting to get a new national mythology. And in the turn of the century, in the early 1900s, we had The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum, who also said, America needs new fairy tales. They need fairy tales that don't depend on peasants marrying into royalty. They need to depend on imagination, but they also need to depend on developing technologies. And this is a long quotation from Baum. He said, imagination has given us the steam engine, the telephone, the talking machine, and the automobile. For these things had to be dreamed up before they could become realities. So I believe man or woman most apt to create, to invent, and therefore to foster civilization. So he says, a prominent educator tells me that fairy tales are of untold value in developing imaginations in the young. I believe it. But he wasn't satisfied with the fairy tales that were coming from Europe into the United States. So he's written his own fairy tales. And there was also another woman named Laura Richards, who in 1903 published a book called The Golden Windows. And this emphasized being happy in your home. It tells the story of a young farm boy who works really hard all day, and at the end of the day, he sees across on the other hill, he sees a house that the windows, they have to be made by gold and diamonds because they sparkle so much. And he says, one day I am going to get done work early, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to go see that house with windows of gold and diamonds. And so one day he does this, and he works really hard, he gets done early, he goes down the hill, and he goes back up the hill to the other side, and he can't find the house. He can't find this house that he sees every day at sunset with windows of gold and diamonds. And he sees another farm worker, and he says, hey, I'm looking for this house that I see every day. It has windows of gold and diamonds. And this farmer says, oh, I know where it is. And he points to the original farmer's own house. He said, that's the house with windows of gold and diamonds. So the golden windows is a theme that you see in The Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. One of the things that Dorothy says in The Wizard of Oz is, if ever I go looking for my heart's desire, I don't need to leave home to find it. So you've got this national mythology, this national character that focuses on building imagination, optimism, but also American idealism. You don't need to travel beyond your own home to make all these great adventures. You just need to use your imagination. So now we're on slide 6. This is the next one. Oops, hold on, for me, okay? But in this age of optimism, worries about technology already started to emerge in the literature of children. In 1926, there was a book called Little Machine.
Hello, ma'am. We have just a few minutes ago, we have lost your voice, so we could not be able to listen to you. Few lines. Uh, I'm audible to you, ma'am? Just a minute, ma'am. We have lost your voice, and before few minutes, we would not be able to listen to you, Cap. So, just a minute, ma'am.
What's that?
Yes, now, getting your voice. Yes, yes, ma'am. Getting your voice, ma'am. Karen, ma'am. Okay, okay.
Should I continue?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
According to my computer, my sound is coming through. Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and continue because I'm sorry, we're running out of time. I have to leave to catch a plane. Anyway, in the early part of the century, we were at war. The world was at war, so you have the story of Ferdinand that comes out about a bull who doesn't want to join the bullfights in Madrid, and that book was widely banned because of its protest against war. It was banned in Spain, but it wasn't banned in the US. It was a strong indictment of war. You have Mike Mulligan and the steam shovel, who, this is again a protest against technology, where we're getting gas and diesel fueled equipment, and Mike wants to prove that his old steam engine or steam shovel, Mary Lou, can do the job just as well. The Little House is about the dangers of urbanization. Here's a little house that's out in the country, and it gets crowded, and the city encroaches on the little house. So you've already got this sort of protest literature starting against the values that America has kind of seeded into this Protestant work ethic, where we're afraid of technology. We're not afraid. We want people to be cautious about technology. We want to be cautious about greed. We want to be cautious about urbanization. We want to be cautious about environmental issues. The Lorax is about taking from the environment without paying attention to the problems that might emerge thereby. In the 20th century, we started to think more about individualism. The Brownies book, which was a publication for children of color, Black children in the 1920s, was to help them be proud of being Americans, but also be proud of being Black. Little House on the Prairie was really promoted the ideals of individualism. It promoted the ideals of working with your hands. As the century progressed, we've got more affluence. So if you see this book, Little Goodnight Moon, here's this one little bunny. He's all by himself. He's in a big room. He has all the toys that you need. He has no one to talk to. This Snowy Day was one of the first books featuring a Black character, and it divided the people who were more assimilationist with the people who wanted literature written by people from the culture that the book was about. And Ezra Jack Keats was a white New Yorker who wrote a story about a Black boy. Some people loved it, some people hated it, because it was basically not written by a person of color. We have Where the Wild Things Are, which is one of the first books to acknowledge that children have complex psychologies. Did they have anger issues? Did they have complex emotions? But again, it emphasized isolation and individualism and self-reliance, because Max has a tantrum, but he has to go to his room and get over it himself. He doesn't get help from his mother. His mother says, go to your room. And he has to go manage his own emotions by himself. So, as we can see from the very beginning, we're developing this stream of assimilation, we're challenging it. We're developing this thing of individualism and self-reliance. And but now in the 21st century, we're starting to challenge that. Okay, challenge those values. So the 21st century has been dominated by recognition and aspiration. One of the most famous trends, I guess, in children's literature was articulated by Regine Sims-Bishop, who said children need to see themselves and others accurately, positively, and imaginatively portrayed in books. And Mary White Edelman, who is the founder of the Children's Defense Fund, says you cannot be what you cannot see. And so there's this very strong push for diversity in children's books. Not just diversity, but diversity done by people who share the culture of their characters, that they can present them with dignity and positivity. I'm sorry, my voice is going, so I need to take a little sip here. Okay. So my critical questions then start to develop. Is diversity only defined by heritage identities? Can people who look similar think differently? Are our imaginations limited by what we can see? Can we only be what we can see? Or can children identify with characters who don't look like them? So those are some of the critical questions that we are actively thinking about in contemporary children's literature criticism in the U.S. We also have a strong push toward activism. We have books about environmental activism, civil rights activism, children marching for rights, children working at, instead of playing on a Sunday afternoon, going to work at a soup kitchen. All of these books tend to focus on children as agents, children as, excuse me, children of trying to make a difference for their communities. And so the critical question of this arises is, where do we draw a line between encouraging children to be aware of social issues and creating fear or imposing a burdensome responsibility on them to change the world? And We Are Water Protectors, the little girl leads this protest march. And that's all well and good, but is that her responsibility? Or is that the responsibility of the adults around her? And those are the kinds of critical questions we're asking there. Okay. And then finally, there is a prominent theme now about mindfulness, friendship, and coping with difficult feelings. So we get books like The Boy Who Made a Million Mistakes, I Can Do Hard Things, The Energy Bus for Children, which is a book that that focuses on, it's actually from an adult book about how to manage your energy, and it's been made into a children's picture book. We have books about children dealing with death. We have books that are, quite frankly, not stories, but self-help books, like what do you do with a problem? What do you do with an idea? And these books, the critical question that comes up with these is, where's the story? Where is the child's imagination? These books are telling children how they should feel and what they should do with their feelings. And they don't couch that direct instruction in good stories that allow children to develop their own imaginations. So I'm not best pleased with the contemporary books in American literature these days, because they do tend to be very, very, they're like, I want to call them sermons in picture book form. and they're losing the sense of story, they're losing the sense of children's imagination. So even though Frank Bell said imagination, fairy tales, stories were the way we would move the world forward, now we're starting to tell children, you need to go out there and make protests and march and not develop the kinds of problem-solving, imaginative solutions to the problems that we face. Now, for older readers, and just to kind of give you a little bit of sense of what's going on for older readers, rather than just picture books, 21st century middle grade books, which are for ages 9 to 12, they range from these zany hybrid novels about kids like The Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Captain Underpants. They're very funny. They also have a moral undertone. They are domestic novels, such as The Kind of Friends We Used to Be, about how friendships that you had as a child might break up. But then you also have an awful lot of trauma narratives, where in middle grade, there's kind of a sense that if you want to win an award for a children's book, somebody has to die. And that is just, what the question, again, I have critical questions. Is it ethical to present all of these trauma narratives for kids when they haven't experienced these traumas themselves? Now, on the other hand of that, this is why it's a critical question, do these books do the effective work of acting like vaccines? So that if something tragic does happen to a kid, they will be prepared imaginatively to handle the grief they might feel at a loss of a pet or a grandparent or a parent. But it is striking that there's so much depth in literature for children of ages 9 to 12. And then YA narratives, young adult narratives, they go even deeper into trauma. And they address issues of racially motivated violence, sexual abuse, mental ill health, and environmental devastation. So again, it's very hard to find a cheerful young adult book these days in American literature. There are still romances, but even these romantic relationships are formed amidst scenarios in which the world is somehow falling apart. So you get books like OCD Romance that's dealing with mental health issues, trying to navigate a relationship, or couples who find each other in the midst of an apocalypse. So it's never an easy, light, or fun. The world is falling apart around the teenager. We have a lot of dystopias and not a lot of future-oriented hope in young adult literature. So, in summary, and I'm sorry I went so quickly, but it was hard to do this without the PowerPoint. Sorry, I can share it if anybody writes to me and asks. But so the themes I've highlighted here: individualism, isolationism, capitalism, entrepreneurialism, but now mindfulness, dealing with your feelings. Again, they've kind of shifted. They're not the only themes that are prominent in American children's literature. It's a very, very broad church. It's full of different kinds of books. I've neglected humor. I've neglected horror, for instance. There's a lot of horror. I've completely neglected fantasy and nonfiction, which nonfiction has really, really boomed in the 21st century. However, I will say that if I look across the whole scope from 1777 till now, what you see is an increased secularization in children's books, and with that, a kind of loss of imagination and in many cases, a lot of hope. Assimilation and trust in children's independent imaginations are not prominent as they used to be. Instead, adult concerns regarding individual identity construction, alternate family structures, emotional awareness and social justice and environmental issues have taken center stage. So that's where we are. It's not an entirely, well, it's actually a rather bleak picture, I think. And I'm hoping that with more global interaction, we will be able to inspire a revival in imaginative literature that trusts children to create the worlds that we want to live in, that they want to live in, but then also the worlds that we want to live in. And so I thank you. And again, so sorry for my voice and sorry for being so quick, but I will take questions if anybody has them. I don't know if that's been built into the structure. So thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Despite very busy schedule, you are here with us virtually, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, if you permit, can we have a question answer session? Because you are very busy and we know that you have flight in short time. Ma'am, if
You may
you...
need to switch the sound again.
Hello,
I'm not
ma'am.
hearing anything that's going on at the conference.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Ma'am, can you listen to me, ma'am? Would it be possible for you, ma'am, to have for 2-3 minutes a questionnaire session? Will you able to be joined here?
Are we audible, ma'am? I think we have lost her because of some technical issues. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your enlightening insights on American children's literature. Thank you on behalf of Children's Research University for joining us virtually. Without taking much time, I would now like to invite our second expert of this session, Professor Parin Somani, ma'am. Professor Parin Somani, are we audible, ma'am? Professor Parin Somani. Hello, ma'am. Professor Parin Somani. Am I audible, ma'am?
I have got a message from Karen Kotz, ma'am, that they cannot listen to us. Okay, pathway, ma'am.
It is muted from our side. Yes, it is muted from our side.
Mute કર્યું છે જુઓ તો આપણામાંથી આપણા સિસ્ટમમાંથી મ્યુટ છે ડીસીએમ ચાલુ છે મારે પેલું ત્યાં બંધ છે ઓનલાઈનમાં આપણો વોઇસ નથી આવતો એ લોકો જ મ્યુટ કરી શકે આપણે છે જ મ્યુટ જ ચાલુ છે લેપટોપમાંથી મ્યુટ છે
We are talking about Google Meet. It is all muted. Are we audible, ma'am? Professor Parin Somani, ma'am? Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, for some technical issues. Professor Karen Kurtz. Hello, ma'am. Would you like to have a questionnaire session? If you spare some time, I know you are having a flight in some time, but if you allow or permit us to have a questionnaire session.
I have got one more message from Karen Kors ma'am that please share my email address with participants, and I can send slides and I can share my answers to the participants via mail. So thank you so much if you can listen to me, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm sorry that it didn't work out as well as you planned. But yeah, I have to leave to catch a plane. So,
Thank you so much,
um,
ma'am.
get back to you when I can.
As we are running this conference on hybrid mode for the first time, so sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am. Okay.
Well, don't give up. This is too important.
Okay. Over to you, Pathvi, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have our next expert, Professor Parin Somani, ma'am. It is an absolute honor to welcome a truly inspiring and accomplished individual, Professor Parin Somani, who is joining us virtually for this plenary session, and she will speak on British children's literature. Professor Parin Somani is a renowned academic scholar, CEO, and director of London Organization of Skill Development, chief editor of Global Research Journal, educator, and international motivational speaker. She is also a three-time TEDx speaker, humanitarian, philanthropist, and multi-international award winner. Her contribution to education, women empowerment, and youth development are globally recognized. She has been invited as a keynote speaker at prestigious institutions such as Harvard, Cambridge, and Oxford universities, and has traveled to 127 countries in her pursuit of spreading knowledge and inspiration. Dr. Somani has held 2 academic doctorates and 6 honorary doctorate degrees, recognizing her humanitarian and philanthropic contributions. She has authored 23 books, including Literature for Children, and has been acknowledged in the Guinness World Records and multiple international record books. 2 of her most popular books, Manifest in Inner Beauty and Alchemy of Reflection, 540 inspiring and powerful quotes from a 54-year journey have become Amazon bestsellers. She lives by 2 powerful mottos. One is, "It is my aim in life to serve humanity until my last breath." And second is, "By working together, we can create positive global change." We are deeply privileged to have her with us today, and we look forward for your valuable insights. Over to you, Professor Parin Somani, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you and namaste. Is the PPT on? Are you playing the PPT? Dr. Bhargavi?
Ma'am, will you be able to share PPT from your laptop? Because we tried from here and we have lost audio.
Okay. Okay, I'll see how I can do it because I did not prepare it.
For us, it is easy if you conclude your speech, and later on we will scroll it in a while at the end of your speech. For all the participants, we feel really sorry for this inconvenience, because this is our first attempt for this hybrid mode, and we had little bit idea that it will be technically some issue during this session, but please be patient and be seated over here. We have the only option. Yes, Parin ma'am, we can see your PPT.
You can see PPT?
Yes, yes.
Oh, perfect. Excellent.
Okay.
Oh, shall I start?
Yes, ma'am,
Are you
please.
all ready?
Please, yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. Yes, do. Hello, Parin ma'am. Are you presenting something? Ma'am, I think we have lost audio from your side. Please unmute your... Hello, hello. We are not listening to you, ma'am. Please unmute. Hello.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's okay. Fine.
Oh, excellent. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear? Okay, shall we start?
Yes,
Oh.
yes, 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 please.
Okay. Okay. Can you all okay?
Yes, ma'am. You can start, please.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Namaste to all of you from around the world who have joined online and offline today. There's a background noise going on. So once you are ready, let me know, please.
In audience, please off your microphone because she is getting our voice, not voice but noise from our side. So please off. We should off our microphone. Please check your microphone. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Sure. I think so. There is a background noise going on. There is a lot of disturbance in the background. I can see the two people are talking. Yes, exactly. The reflection is happening. So because you're saying, I can hear the two people just talking about, yeah, yeah, yeah. She's right. You just sound it off there and you can hear me from here. She's absolutely right. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, carry on,
Shall we
ma'am.
go?
Yes, carry on. Keep on, ma'am. Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, can I start?
Yes, I am from Nepal.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, perfect. So good morning once again to all my distinguished guests and my esteemed scholars and all the organizers, especially Dr. Bhargavi, Dr. Jagdish Joshi, and each and everyone who I can think of it, all my dignitaries who are present now. It is a profound honor to stand before you today at this esteemed international conference on connecting cultures, children's literature as a global gateway. I would like to thank you to the Department of the Children's Literature, Film, Museum and Physical Education and the Indian Council of Social Science Research. I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizer for this invaluable opportunity to speak about a subject that has shaped not only a British childhood but also the literary and the cultural imagination of children worldwide. So British children literature is a window to culture, values and imagination. We will explore British children's literature not just as a collaboration of stories but as a transformative force that has defined our moral values, kindled the flames of imagination and created universal experience that cross cultural boundaries. British children literature has given us far more than beloved tales. It has bestowed upon us a shared language of imagination that unites us across continents. These stories have influenced the way we perceive adventure, courage, friendship, and justice. They remind us that no matter where we come from, our experience, our dream, are interconnected with the timeless power of storytelling. So let's begin by reflecting on the fundamental question, why do story matters? The power of story, more than just the words. Stories are at the very heart of our existence, shaping our perceptions from the moment we are born. For instance, when a woman or when a mother sings a gentle lullaby song to an infant, what happens? She's not merely smoothing the child, she's introducing the concept of narrative and a sound. A child's very first story starts from there. She's introducing the concept of narrative and a sound. A child is listening to the mother or a person who is going to narrate a lullaby or a sing lullaby for the baby. In a much in the much of the same way, when a grandparent recounts tales of the past of these stories, severe as a vessel for histories and traditions, connecting generations through shared experiences and lessons. I always remembered my grandma, how she used to tell me the stories. Similarly, when a teacher reads aloud from a book in a class, it's not just a recitation of words, but an act of knowledge, transfer that sparks curiosity and open up a new world to the young mind. Through this experience, children learn invaluable lessons. They come to understand what it means to be brave as illustrated in stories like The Lion, The Witches and the Wardrobe, which shows that courage often comes in unexpected forms. They learn that even the smallest amongst us can achieve the great things, as demonstrated by characters like Matilda. I don't know how many have seen Matilda movie. It's a beautiful children's movie, and who, despite her size and the age, makes a tremendous impact, and they understand that kindness and friendships are among the most powerful force in life. A message beautifully conveyed in the Winnie the Pooh. Each of these lessons is intricately woven into the fabric of British children's literature, making it not just only a source of enjoyment, but also a vital educational tool. The journey through the British children's literature. Let me take you to the early days of the stories of morality, the stories of morality and the instruction. So when we talk about the morality and the universal, if we travel back to the 17th and 18th century, we find that the British children's literature was the predominantly didactically in nature. During this era, books were crafted primarily to impact moral instructions rather than to entertainment. One of the earliest examples is a token for a children in 1671, written by James Janeway, a collection of stories that extolled the virtues of living morally upright to the life, even when such virtues was accompanied by the tragic fate of every death. In these tales, the end was an important as the means, and the lesson was very clear. Virtue was rewarded even if it came at a great personal cost. During this period, influential thinkers such as John Locke began to challenge the prevailing norms. Locke seminal work, Some Thoughts Concerning Education in 1693 was revolution in that argued for the nurturing of children's mind through enjoyable learning experience rather than rigid discipline. His idea laid that the groundwork for a shift in educational paradigm is one of the most important things, one that would eventually foster the growth of imaginary storytelling in literature for children. It was a pivotal moment that a stage that was a set of a stage for literature to evolve into the medium that could be both educate and inspire. But let's go back to the 19th century. In the 19th century, the age of adventure, the age of literacy, the age of fantasy, that was the important part. Let me take you there and let's see what we can conclude on that. So now the words are more just the powerful, which we have gone through. I think so. Let's go on to the children's courage and diversity. This also I've gone through. Yes, the early days of stories of morality and the instructions we have bypassed. We have done that. So I think I'm just trying to get the, this is the 19th. Perfect. Okay. So the 19th century, the age of adventure and the fantasy. Think about, I don't know how many you've seen, I'm sure you would have seen the movie of Alice the Wonderland. That was the beautiful movie. I still remember when I used to watch with my daughters. And that was the story, the British children literature, as the author began to embrace the limitless realms of imagination. This period is marked by a surge in stories that celebrated wonders, curiosity, and adventure. So, for example, Lewis Carroll's Alice Adventure in a Wonderland. That was the story, that was the movie for 1865. Introduced children to a fantastical adventure, a world where the ordinary rules of logic were tuned upside down, inviting young readers to revel in the beauty of abuse and the creativity. So Carroll's narrative encouraged children to review and to view the world with a fresh eye and to appreciate that even the non-synerical has its own profound significance. Similarly, Robert Louis Stevenson, Treasure Island in 1883, transported readers into a thrill realm filled with pirates, hidden treasures, and daring escapers. This story ignited the spirit of adventure in countless young hearts, inspiring not only the future, but to the array of the Indian landscape with the moral complexity of British Empire thoughts. So through the adventure of Mowgli, I'm sure you may know, remember the Mowgli, the Jungle Book, that was a beautiful, my favorite movie. And in that movie, the Kipling introduced theme of survival, leadership, and dedicate balance between civilization and the wild. So this narrative, rich in imaginary detail and the cultural, the nuisance laid the foundation for the literary traditions that encourage children to dream big and explore far beyond the immediate surrounding. So when we go back to that was on the 19th century. Let me go back to the 20th century. What do we experience in 20th century? So in the 20th century, the revolution of imagination, how does it change the life? So when the dawn of the 20th century ushered in what many consider the golden age of British children's literature, this era witnessed the creation of stories that not only entertain but also empower children to believe in their own potential. A. Milne, Winnie the Pooh, 1926, bore to a life a world of gentle humor and a warm friendship, teaching us that the magic of childhood lies in its simplicity and in the joy of shared adventure. The character of the Winnie the Pooh, Piglets, and a Christopher Robins reminded us that even in most ordinary moments, there is extraordinary beauty waiting to be discovered. Equally transformative were C. and S. Lewis, The Chronics of Narnia, in 1950 to 1956, a series that beckoned children to step through a wardrobe and not into a magical world filled with talking animals, epic battles, and profound moral lessons. That Narnia Lewis is not only crafted a skeptical fantasy, but also engaged with the theme of sacrifice, redemption, and the eternal struggle between the good and the evil. Perhaps one of the most revolutionary voice of the 20th century in the children's literature was Roald Dahl, with the book like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm sure you remember this book. That was a beautiful story about the Charlie and a chocolate factory. Matilda, which we have talked about it. And another one was BFG, Dale, which was empowered young readers by showing them that no matter how small or a seeming significant they might be, their ideas and the actions have power to change the world. His relevant humor and imaginary plots challenge conventional authority and inspire children to question that status and trust in their own unique strength. We are moving from the 20th century. Now we are moving to the 21st century. This is the time we have to mirror ourselves. But how? Let's go and check that one out. So this one is the British children's literature in the 21st century, a global gateway. Now, let's talk about that. Today, as we move further into the 21st century, British children's literature reflects a world that is increasingly diverse and interconnected. Modern narratives have expanded to embrace stories that celebrate differences and include voices from a variety of cultural backgrounds. For instance, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, which we all know about it, Harry Potter series from 1997 to 2007, created a universe where magic and friendship transcended the boundaries of race, nationality, and a socio-economic status, capturing the hearts of millions and millions and millions of people across the globe. This series has become a cultural touchstone, reminding us that no matter how vast the world may seem, there is always a place for every child in a story that speaks to their innermost hope and dreams. In addition to the magical realms of Harry Potter, there are many other stories we can talk about it, and the many stories have introduced a bold narrative that confronted the relatives of racialism, inequalities, and social justice. Black man's work serves as prominent and serves as a reminder that children's literature can be a catalyst for a critical conversation about stories and a mirror reflecting the challenge of our time. Similarly, the humor and the heartwarming stories of David Wolman Stack's contemporary issues of identity and acceptance, ensuring that the children sees themselves presented in the literature. This modern works collectively assets of a powerful message that every children, regardless of background, has a story that deserves to be told and celebrated. So when we look at the gateway of bringing bringing the generation in the 21st century, the magical dreams and identification has explained how we can bring in the 21st century the children and our generation into the game of success, into the game of the new world, of the future. So the future comes next, but how? And that's what we are going to talk about it, how the future is reflected. So when we look at our generation of the future in the global impact of the British children's literature, the global resonance, and only not just to resonate, but it also brings to the life of many people in the world. But how? But I want to go back to one slide, that the global impact of British children's literature is the universal appeal. The universal appeal, how when we talk about the universal appeal, the global resilience of the British children literature is a testament to its universal appeal, because these stories speak to the fundamental, to the human emotions: love, bravery, friendship, and justice, in ways that transcended language and cultural barriers. The characters, whether they are Alice the Wonderland or whether it's Matilda or Harry Potter, have become a global icon whose adventure inspires children from every corner of the world. So, British literature has not only enriched lives through the magic of storytelling, but has also been translated into hundreds of languages, ensuring that its lesson and enchantment and they are accessible to a diverse global audience. The international adaptation of this beloved story into films, like Harry Potter become a film, which written by J.K. Rowling. So the television series also started, stage plays started, and in digital formats further extended their reach, providing that while language may change, but underlining the theme remains the universal. So let's go into the future world. What is the next? For us to understand that how we can bring this future into the next world. If I talk about mirroring yourself, so looking ahead, we must ask ourselves what we want the future of our children's literature to embody. I firmly believe that the literature of tomorrow should serve as a mirror that reflects the diversity, which is number one, to our global society. It should be a powerful tool that nurtures empathy and standing by the presenting character and narratives from a wider spectrum of the background. Moreover, it should act as a guide that inspires every children to dream, create, and effect change in the world. So as a technological advancement continue to reshape our lives, they will also transform the way were told. Interactive books, AI generated narratives, and a spiritual and a virtual reality experiences are just a few examples how the literature is evolving. Yet, at its heart, storytelling will always strive to inspire, connect, and transform. So, this evolution does not diminish the tradition of British children's literature. Rather, it enriches by incorporating new voices and new methods of engagement that resonates with today's digitally native youth. So if I the way how the world is changing from the 16th century to the 21st. So let's go on to the conclusion. How we can conclude and how we can bring the enduring magic of children's literature. The biggest thing I would talk about in the British children literature stands as a legacy of hope, imagination, and endless possibilities. It has taught generations of young readers to believe in magic, to fight for what is right, and to see beyond the confines of their immediate realities. This stories continues to empower children by showing them that every challenge can be met with courage, every difficulty with perseverance, and every dream with a relentless hope. As we celebrate the global gateway that children's literature represent, let us reaffirm our commitment to inspiring the next generation. Every child deserves to hear a story that tells them, you are important, you are powerful, you are limitless. May we all strive to create and share stories that continue to connect cultures, foster empathy, and nurture the boundless potential within every young mind. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have I hope you've gone through from the stage of 16th century to the 21st century. Thank you and namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for briefing us on British children literature. Ma'am, we will mail our queries on your email ID as we are running out of time. Thank you, ma'am, on behalf of Children's Research University for joining us virtually, ma'am. Thank you. Now we have our next speaker, Dr. Kusmakar Nupne, by virtual mode from Nepal. Hello. Dr. Kusmakar ji, we only have 15 minutes spared for you. Sorry for the inconvenience, sir. Just giving a brief introduction of yours to our audience. It is an honor to introduce Dr. Kusmakar Nupne, a distinguished scholar, researcher, and educator in Nepali folklore, literature, and education, who is joining us virtually. Dr. Nupne has an illustrious career spanning 36 years as a faculty member at Tribhuvan University, Nepal, where he played a vital role in shaping folklore and literary studies. Even after retirement, his contribution to research, literature, and education remains remarkable. He has been actively involved in numerous literary and folklore organizations and has published nearly a dozen books focusing on Nepali folk traditions, songs, and dramas. His expertise has been recognized globally, and he has presented keynote speeches and research papers at prestigious conferences across India, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and beyond. His seminal research work includes studies on Nepali folk songs, folk dramas, proverbs, and the cultural heritage of Nepal. Additionally, his work has significantly contributed to preserving and analyzing folk narratives and oral literature. Not wasting much time, over to you, sir. Dr. Kusmakar Nupne, sir.
Good afternoon from Nepal. Respected chairperson and friends, my paper topics is Nepali children literature. Nepal is a country with diverse ethnic group, language, religious, and culture. Children literature related to these various ethnic language, religion, and culture can be found. This body of literature is known as Nepali children's literature. The children's literature prevalent in the Nepal world is referred to as Nepali. The children literature prevalent in the Nepali world is referred to as Nepali children literature. Nepali children literature can be categorized into two types: oral children literature and written children literature. The children's literature that that is prevalent in the oral tradition is called oral children's literature. It is also referred to as folk children literature. In Nepal, various forms of folk children's literature, oral children's literature exist. These include folk song, folk ballad, folk tale, folk story, folk drama, proverb, jokes, and village-based story for children. Folk song for children can be divided into two categories: those sung by adult and those sung by children. Folk songs sung by adults are meant to entertain children. For example, Chupu Chupu Tel, Babu Jarnel. This song is sung while applying oil to a child's hair, which means that the child will become a general in army. Children also create their own song for entertainment, such as Na Na Na, No No No. This song, composed of only 6 syllables, are sung by children in rhythmic pattern. The older generation may not understand the meaning of these songs, but the children enjoy them greatly. Similarly, there are folk songs with short stories. These are called folk tales in song form. Brief folk story for children can also be heard in Nepal. In addition, there is a tradition of performing short folk play for children. Nepal also has children's proverbs, jokes, and village-based story for children. Even today, we rich collection of oral children's literature can be found in the village of Nepal. Written children's literature refer to the literature created by the older generation in written form of the entertainment of children. In Nepal, there are various forms of written children's literature. These include children's song, children's poetry, short poem, children's story, children's novel, children's biography, children's picture story, etc. The number of creators of written children's literature in Nepal has greatly increased. Research on written children's literature is also ongoing. Current situation in present day Nepal, oral children's literature is at risk of disappearing. Modern children no longer find interest in the oral children literature that has been passed down through generations. They are more attracted to written children literature. Similarly, children today enjoy entertainment from mobile phone and TV program more than traditional form of entertainment. Modern entertainment sources have become more popular than traditional ones. Writers of written children's literature have adapted to this change and continue to develop the genre accordingly. However, due to the influence of written literature and increasing technology driven entertainment, Nepal oral children literature is at risk of disappearing. Therefore, it has become necessary to launch campaign to preserve oral children's literature in Nepal. To end my part of this presentation, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Prashant Patil, Dr. Bhairavi and Jagdish, the organizing institution, keynote speakers, and participating listeners for making this program fruitful. With sincere thanks for participantly listening, I bid farewell and say namaste to all from Nepal. Namaste.
Thank you so much, sir. Likewise, we will send our queries to you via email as we are running out of time, sir. Thank you so much on behalf of Children's Research University. Today we have with us Dr. Mohan Patel, Vice Chancellor of Kutch University. We welcome you, sir, in this international conference. Thank you, Kusmakarji, for your prestigious time. Now, we will shift our focus to our own rich heritage, Bharatiya children's literature. It is our honor to introduce Eknath Avhade sir, a distinguished children's author, storyteller, and educator from Maharashtra, who is joining us for this plenary session. With an illustrious career spanning over 31 years as a teacher in the Mumbai Municipal Corporation School, Mr. Avhade has dedicated his life to nurturing young minds through literature and storytelling. His contribution to children's literature are truly remarkable, with 32 published books covering stories, poetry, skits, biographies, and puzzles. His influence extends beyond the page of his books. He's performed over 500 storytelling programs and conducted numerous storytelling workshops under the title Katha Kathan Tantra Ani Mantra. His works are so impactful that they have been included in the Maharashtra State Textbook Bureau's curriculum and even in the Marathi postgraduate courses at prestigious universities. Eknath Avhade's exceptional literary achievements have earned him numerous prestigious awards, including the Sahitya Akademi Award for the Children's Literature 2023 for his poetry collection Chand De Anand. Additionally, he has also received the Maharashtra Government's Idol Teacher State Award 2016. A true visionary in children's literature, his passion for nurturing young minds continues to inspire generations. We are privileged to have him with us today. Sir, the stage is yours, sir.
सभी को हेलो सभी को नमस्कार। विचार मंच पर उपस्थित मान्यवर और विचार मंच के सामने भी बहुत बड़े मान्यवर उपस्थित हैं। सभी को नमस्कार करके मैं मेरे विषय की ओर रुख करता हूँ। आज का विषय भारतीय बाल साहित्य मेरा विषय है। आज भी भारतीय बाल साहित्य जितना चिंतन का विषय है उतना ही चिंता का भी विषय है। चिंतन इसके बारे में आज भी भारतीय बाल साहित्य को जब आप लोग देखते हैं तो दुर्यम दर्जे की तरफ समाज का रुख मैंने देखा है। मैं 30-32 साल से बाल साहित्य के जरिए काम करता हूँ बच्चों के लिए। जब मैं समाज में देखता हूँ, हमारे महाराष्ट्र में ही देखिए, जब वाङ्मय पुरस्कार बाल साहित्य को दिया जाता है तो बाल साहित्य को 50,000 का पुरस्कार और प्रौढ़ साहित्य को 1 लाख का पुरस्कार है। तो इसमें
हमको मालूम पड़ता है कि प्रौढ़ साहित्य को 32 साहित्य प्रकार के बारे में पुरस्कार दिए जाते हैं। समझो कादंबरी है, कविता है, चरित्र है, कहानी है, नाटिका है, लेकिन बाल साहित्य को 5 ही साहित्य प्रकार में पुरस्कार दिया जाता है। ये एक बात है। दूसरी बात, चिंता का विषय ये है बाल साहित्य कि सबके सामने आने के लिए बहुत दिक्कत महसूस होती है। और अपना भारतीय बाल साहित्य के बारे में और आगे जाके मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि बाल साहित्य का उत्तम बाल साहित्य क्या है, और भी आज भी किसी को अच्छी ढंग से मालूम नहीं है। उत्तम बाल साहित्य तो बोलते हैं कि जो अच्छा चित्र है, जो आर्ट पेपर पे लिखा है, बहुत बड़ी बड़ी चित्र के साथ, आर्ट पेपर के साथ, बहुत अच्छा दिखावट है, रंग है उसमें ज़्यादा, लेकिन उसमें जो साहित्यिक मूल्य है वो बहुत कम दिखाई देता है। तो इसलिए बाल साहित्य में जो 5 से 8 साल का ग्रुप है, हम लोग उसको मराठी में बोलते हैं शिशुगट। 8 से 12 साल का जो है बालगट, और 12 से 15 साल का है वो जो कुमार गट है। तो ये गट के हिसाब से बाल साहित्य आना चाहिए। शिशुगट में जो समझो एक कविता रहते हैं कि एकदा काय झाले पक्षी उडून गेले म्हणून झाड उडून गेले, एकदा काय झाले गणपतीचा मुकुट घालून उंदीर मामा आले, आणि एकदा काय झाले नातवाने धरला विंचू त्याला आजोबाच भ्याले। आजोबा मतलब पोते ने ऐसा विंचू पकड़ला आणि उसको दादाजी डर गए। इतना सरल भाव से हमारे मराठी के बहुत बड़े कवि है विंदा करंदीकर, जिनको ज्ञानपीठ पुरस्कार मिला है, उनकी एक कविता है। तो हम लोग को ये देखना चाहिए, ये कविता कुमारगढ़ को देते हैं पढ़ने को तो उनको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा। कुमारगढ़ की जो भावना को आह्वान करने वाले साहित्य है, जो चिंतन का साहित्य है, जो विचार करने का साहित्य है, वो कुमारगढ़ को देना चाहिए। लेकिन हमारे भारत में जो भारतीय बाल साहित्य है उसके बारे में ये जो वयोगट है बच्चों का, वो वयोगट के ऊपर साहित्य लिखना चाहिए। ये बहुत बड़ी कम मात्रा में दिखाई देता है। मतलब बाल साहित्य सभी के लिए एक सरी का बाल साहित्य देना उचित नहीं है, ये मुझे बताना चाहूँगा। ये अपने भारत के बाल साहित्य में बहुत बार दिखाई देता है। दूसरा है कि अपनी जो आज का बाल साहित्य है वो उसमें आना चाहिए। मैं भी बाल साहित्य लिखता हूँ, तो मेरे बचपन में कैसी परिस्थिति थी वो आज मैं लिख के आज के बच्चों को वो बाल साहित्य में नहीं दे सकता। मुझे आज के बच्चों को ध्यान में रखकर वो बाल साहित्य देना चाहिए। ऐसा बाल साहित्य संख्यात्मक दृष्टया तो बहुत है, लेकिन गुणात्मक दृष्टया जो बहुत कम आ रहा है, तो ये भी बात ध्यान में रखनी चाहिए। लेकिन जो बहुत बड़ी नकारात्मक बातें तो है अपने भारतीय बाल साहित्य में, लेकिन बहुत अच्छी भी बातें अभी आ रही है। एक पहली बात तो पहले बाल साहित्य छोटे कागज़ पे थे, ब्लैक एंड वाइट में थे, लेकिन आज का बाल साहित्य हमारे मराठी में, हिंदी में, कुछ पत्रिका भी हमारी मासिक पत्रिका आती है, उसमें देखता हूँ तो बहुत अच्छे चित्र के साथ, बहुत अच्छे तरीके के साथ प्रसिद्ध होते हैं। ये बहुत अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि बच्चों की पहली भाषा तो चित्र भाषा है, ऐसे मुझे लगता है, और चित्रों के साथ बुक आते हैं, तो ये अच्छी बात है। दूसरी अच्छी बात मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि भारत में अभी प्रथम नाम की एक संस्था है, टाटा ट्रस्ट नाम की संस्था है, नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट है, साहित्य अकादमी है, उसके माध्यम से बहुत सारे भाषा में बाल साहित्य उपलब्ध हो रहे हैं। ये भी अच्छी बात है। और अभी बाल साहित्य में बहुत बड़ी चित्रकार की एकजुटता हो रही है। हमारे मराठी में पुंडलिक वजे है, और भारत के बहुत बड़े मशहूर चित्रकार है चंद्रकांत कुलकर्णी सर, तो ऐसे संतोष घोंगड़े सर, ऐसे बहुत बड़े चित्रकार भी बाल साहित्य को समझकर चित्र बना रहे हैं। हमारे भारत में ये भी दिखाई देता है, जो साहित्यिक बड़ों के लिए ही लिखते थे, खाली बड़ों के लिए लिखते थे, वो भी अभी बाल साहित्य के ऊपर लिख रहे हैं, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है। मतलब बाल साहित्य लिखने वाले हाथ बढ़ गए हैं। और एक बात बताना चाहूँगा, अच्छी बात बाल साहित्य के लिए, जो बड़े बाल साहित्य लिखते हैं हम उसको बाल साहित्यिक कहते हैं, लेकिन जो बड़े बाल साहित्य लिखते हैं वो बाल साहित्यकार है। लेकिन छोटे बच्चे अपने लिए बाल साहित्यिक लिखते हैं, वो बाल साहित्यिक के किताबें भी अभी बहुत सारी आ रही है। हमारे महाराष्ट्र में तो उनको वाङ्मय पुरस्कार भी दिया जाता है। तो बच्चे ही बाल साहित्य लिखने को उसको प्रोत्साहन मिल रहा है, उनके किताबें आ रही हैं और बहुत सारे प्रकाशक ऐसे बच्चों के बाल साहित्य की किताबें प्रकाशित कर रहे हैं। ये अच्छी बातें हैं। और नकारात्मक बातें में मुझे एक बहुत बड़ी बात बतानी है। प्रकाशक, आप हैरी पॉटर को देखिए कि हैरी पॉटर की जो लेखिका है J.K. राउलिंग, वो लेखिका पूरे टाइम बाल साहित्य लिखती है और श्रीमंत महिला, बाल साहित्य के माध्यम से श्रीमंत महिला बनी हुई है, एक उत्तम उदाहरण है। लेकिन अपने भारत में पूरी उपजीविका बाल साहित्य लिख के कोई नहीं आगे कर सकता। तो किसी को ना किसी को कुछ कौन सा जॉब करके बाल साहित्य लिखना पड़ रहा है। बाल साहित्य के ऊपर पूरा अपना ध्येय, उद्दिष्ट सब बाल साहित्य के ऊपर रखकर कोई आगे नहीं बढ़ सकता, क्योंकि उपजीविका का साधन बाल साहित्य नहीं हो रहा है। ये बहुत दुख की बात है। पूरे टाइम बाल साहित्य लिख के भी कोई आदमी अपना घर चला सकता है, ऐसा वक्त आना चाहिए, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है। अपने बाल साहित्य की जो मासिक पत्रिका है वो बहुत कम है। हमारे मराठी में तो वयम है, छात्र प्रबोधन है, लेकिन उनकी वयम की तो 1100 रुपये फ़ी है एक साल की। गांव के बच्चे ये फ़ी नहीं अफोर्ड कर सकते, ये नहीं फ़ी भर सकते। तो शासन की तरफ से ऐसे कुछ पत्रिका निकलनी चाहिए कि जो विविध भाषा में होनी चाहिए, तमिल, तेलुगु, मराठी, गुजराती, और उस भाषा में वो पत्रिका होनी चाहिए। और खेड़े गांव की तरफ, छोटे छोटे गांवों में भी वो पत्रिका जानी चाहिए। और एक बात मुझे बताने की है कि बाल साहित्य को आज भी समाज की तरफ से प्रोत्साहन मिलना जो जरूरी है वो नहीं मिल रहा है। तो ये सब आप सब बाल साहित्य के ऊपर प्रेम करणारी मंडळी आहात तुम्ही सगळीजण, तो मला एकच सांगायचं आहे की ये बाल साहित्य का शुरुआत अपनी तरफ से करना चाहिए। मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ बाल साहित्य को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए? तो मेरे घर में जो छोटे छोटे बच्चों का समझो वाड़ दिवस है, उसका बर्थडे है, तो मैं उसको गिफ्ट करके पुस्तक भेंट दे दूंगा। मेरा जो महीने का जमा खर्च है कि मेरे बिजली का बिल का इतना पैसा मैं निकाल के रखता हूँ, किराना सामान का इतना पैसा निकाल के रखता हूँ, तो मैं बाल साहित्य के बच्चों के लिए कुछ बुक खरीदने के लिए 100 रुपये से स्टार्ट कर सकता हूँ ना, मेरे घर से शुरुआत कर सकता हूँ। तो इस तरह से तो आप अपने आप से शुरुआत करेंगे तो बाल साहित्य, अपने भारतीय बाल साहित्य को भी बढ़ावा मिल सकता है। और बुके मत दो, बुक दो, इस तरह से बच्चों को रिटर्न गिफ्ट देंगे। हमारे मराठी में तो बोलते हैं जो घर में बुक नहीं है वो घर मतलब जिसकी खिड़की नहीं है, ऐसी खोली है वो घर। तो इसलिए बुक को बढ़ावा देंगे हम लोग। आगे जाके बच्चों जो लिखते हैं उनको प्रोत्साहन देंगे। और जाते जाते मैं इतना ही बताऊंगा भारतीय बाल साहित्य के बारे में कि ये बाल साहित्य विविध भाषा में है, उसका अनुवाद होना बहुत ज़रूरी है। ये गुजराती में मुझे आज भी एक बुक मिला है, इतना अच्छा कविता का बुक प्रेजेंट मिला है ये व्यासपीठ पे। लेकिन मुझे लगा कि ये मराठी में कविता आएंगी तो मैं मेरे बच्चों को ये कविता सुनाऊंगा। तो इस तरह से अनुवाद का भी बहुत कम माध्यम है। वो अनुवाद भी बहुत तरीके से अपने भारतीय बाल साहित्य इतनी समृद्ध बोली भाषा में है, इतने बहुत सारी बोली भाषा में बाल साहित्य लिखा हुआ है, वो एक दूसरे को मालूम होना चाहिए। लेकिन आज के ये उपक्रम में बाल साहित्य को, जागतिक बाल साहित्य को जोड़ने का काम ये जो चिल्ड्रंस रिसर्च यूनिवर्सिटी ने किया है उसका मैं बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ। और जाते जाते इतना ही कहूँगा, कि एक चित्रकार था, उसका वो चित्र उसका क्या बोलते हैं दर्शनी सब देखने आए थे, और एक बच्चे ने उसको पूछ लिया कि कितने अच्छे चित्र निकाले हैं सर आपने। लेकिन वो चित्र से भी बढ़िया मुझे क्या लगा मालूम है, वो चित्र में जो आपने रंग संगति की है वो मुझे बहुत बढ़िया लगी। आपने उस चित्र के रंग में कौन से रंग में कौन सा रंग डाला कि एक अनूठा रंग तैयार हो गया। वो चित्रकार वो बच्चों की जिज्ञासा देख के बोला, बेटा मैं तो ऐसा अमुक रंग में तमुक रंग ऐसा नहीं सोचता, मैं कौन से भी रंग में कौन सा भी रंग डालता हूँ, लेकिन उसमें मेरा अंतरंग डालता ही डालता हूँ कि कौन सा भी चित्र बाह्य रंग से सुंदर नहीं होता। मुझे लगता है अपने भारतीय बाल साहित्य में जो लेखक लिख रहे वो जो अपना अंतरंग उसमें डाल देंगे तो अंतरंग से खिल के इंद्रधनुष्य हो जाएगा, और उसमें जो कविता कहानी आपने लिखी है वो बच्चों के दिल तक पहुंच जाएंगी। मुझे लगता है भारतीय बाल साहित्य से हम लोग संस्कार देते हैं, उसको शिक्षा देते हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है वो भारतीय बाल साहित्य से मनुष्य को मनुष्य के साथ मनुष्य जैसा व्यवहार करना चाहिए, वो भी शिक्षा देनी चाहिए। समझो बच्चों को बोलते हैं कि पहाट झाली भोर हो गई, भोर बहे पनघट पे, भोर हो गई तो कैसे बताएंगे। तो एक बच्चा बोलता है सरल भाव से, सर पूर्वे की दिश में आकाश में लालिमा आ जाती है तो मैं समझता हूँ भोर हो गई। दूसरा बच्चा बोलता है कि वो देहाती बच्चा था, वो बोलता है मेरे गांव में समझो जो गाय बैल जाते हैं उनके घड़ी का घंटा आवाज़ करता है तो मुझे समझते वो अभी भोर हो गई है। तीसरा बच्चा बोलता है मैं जब बाहर आता हूँ और देखता हूँ ये पीपल का पेड़ है, ये अमृत का पेड़ है, ये मुझे मालूम पड़ता है तो मैं समझता हूँ भोर हो गई। चौथा बच्चा बोलता है जब मनुष्य की पहचानता है अच्छी तरह से तब सही समय से भोर हो गई है। तो इसी तरह से संस्कार और शिक्षा के साथ अपना बाल साहित्य आगे बढ़ रहा है, और ये बाल साहित्य को हम सभी को प्रोत्साहन देना चाहिए तो ये और आगे बढ़ेगा। ये बात कह के मैं रुकता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us insights on Bharatiya Bal Sahitya. Not wasting much time, we have our next speaker, Dr. Philip Ruchinsky. Introducing him, I will give a quick introduction of him. Dr. Ruchinsky comes from a distinguished Polish family of Indologists and has dedicated his academic journey to the deep study of Indian philosophy, linguistics, and classical literature. His educational path spans both India and Poland, beginning with traditional Sanskrit education at Sampurnanand Sanskrit University in Varanasi. Presently, he is running the foundation Vivasvan dedicated to Indian culture and science in Poland and teaches the course on the philosophy of yoga at the PG Studies of Yoga and Ayurveda at Apple University of Technology in Poland. He also organizes tours to Bharat for Polish people. Sir, we are honored to have you.
Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a great honor to be here and present my paper. Respected Vice Chancellor, Mr. Jagatji Joshi ji and Bhairavi Dikshit ji, thank you for inviting me here. And respected audience and guests. It is a very important topic. मैं इसको हिंदी में बोलूँगा और and अंग्रेजी in both languages, a bit mixing. So Poland में बाल साहित्य. So in Poland the literature, I'm not a specialist of literature, but I am lucky to be in the family where my mother keeps the tradition of literature, of Polish literature, and she introduced us a lot into the children's literature, and we had the whole, the whole culture of Poland inside which was ये भारतीय संस्कृति से भी मिला हुआ था. To understand Polish Sahitya, which is very, very vast, हमारी Polish संस्कृति की कुछ भी विशेषताएं को जानना चाहिए और विशेष रूप से इतिहास. तो क्योंकि Polish इतिहास में ये क्या था कि 6वीं शताब्दी से वो Polish बाल साहित्य शुरू होता है और फैमिली the most important, बहुत important है वहाँ family. Family values are extremely important in Poland. And they all Eastern Europe, you can see this is very similar to India. And that family bonds. And welfare of children is understood like he's a part of the family, not like in the modern approach that children are like they have own world, and we are just separate. Okay, they play themselves and we will be separately. No, he's a part of the family. इसलिए ये जो बड़े बड़े कवि थे, जो बड़े बड़े लेखक थे, साहित्यकार थे, सबसे बड़े जैसे यान कोहानोव्स्की जो 16वीं शताब्दी में इतने बहुत विशेष प्रधान कवि थे, यह बालकों बच्चों के लिए लिखते थे. और दूसरे की आदम मिचकेविच जो भारत जो पोलैंड के कालिदास हैं, ये भी उनका भी बहुत वो ये बच्चों के लिए लिखते थे, बड़ों के लिए और बच्चों के लिए भी, क्योंकि बच्चे भाषा सीखते हुए उसका चमत्कार जब देखने लगते हैं तो धीरे धीरे बहुत जल्दी पकड़ते हैं और जो और इसमें विभाजन नहीं कर सकते हैं कब वो बड़ा हो गया कब छोटा हो गया. आजकल ट्रेंड ऐसा है कि बच्चे खुद लिखते हैं, शेयर करते हैं इंटरनेट में और फिर एवेलुएट करते हैं और जो बहुत बड़े पॉपुलर लेखक बन जाते हैं अभी पोलैंड में जो बच्चे ही हैं और बच्चे उनको एकदम तालियां देते हैं और कौन कितना अच्छा लिखता है. तो यह ट्रेंड है कि बच्चों का लिटरेचर बच्चों के द्वारा लिखी जा रही है. लेकिन मैं अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में थोड़ा इतिहास के अनुसार चलना चाहता हूँ. ये 16 शताब्दी में शुरू करते हुए और पहले मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि किस तरह की साहित्य थी, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा है तो पहले इसका वर्गीकरण करूँगा. सबसे पहले बच्चा जब सीखता है, भाषा सीखता है, तो वो भाषा का चमत्कार दिखाने के लिए बहुत सारे कवि अपने लिखते हैं और साथ ही साथ मोरल वैल्यू इसमें ही थे. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है मोरल वैल्यूज पोलिश साहित्य शुरू से और अभी तक. तो जैसे छोटी सी लघु कविताएं थीं, तो ये जैसे नर्सरी राइम इन इंग्लिश कहते हैं, लेकिन ये लघु कविताएं थी. उसमें ये तो मिकोवाई रे जो कोहानोव्स्की से भी पहले वो तो 15वीं शताब्दी के अंत में पैदा हुए, वो लिखे थे. इसके बाद कोहानोव्स्की लिखे थे और वहाँ अपनी लोक संस्कृति थी, लोक कथाएं और ग्रीक, लैटिन. और अजीब बात है कि इतने पहले इतना जल्दी भारत से भी आने लगे. ये जैसे पंचतंत्र है, वहाँ की कथाएं आती. एक बहुत प्रिय बच्चों के लिए प्रिय इग्नाचे क्रशित्स्की और कथा दूसरा प्रकार है कथाएं या कहानियाँ. इसको कहते हैं जैसे फेबल्स, लेकिन दो प्रकार के. हम इसको बाष्न्य या बाइका. बाइका ऐसा छोटा है, बाइका जिसमें ये छोटा बहुत छोटा है और इसमें नैतिक उपदेश है. हितोपदेश को हम बाइका बोलेंगे क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सुंदर तरीके से लिखा. और दूसरा बाष्य, इसमें इतिहास लिखा है. तो बहुत सारे साहित्य में ये बहुत सारे ऐसी कहानियाँ हैं जो पोलैंड का बहुत प्राचीन काल की कहानियाँ बताते हैं. और ये परंपरा थी और है अभी. तो मतलब उस समय बच्चे अभी सीखते हैं, ये पढ़ते हैं क्योंकि इसका प्री पब्लिशिंग होता है. कि जैसे legends of ancient of legends of like स्थापना कथा, स्थापना पुराण, स्थल पुराण, कैसे ये हुआ. तो ये जो स्थल पुराण है, जैसे मेन सिटी है क्राको कल्चरल सिटी और दूसरे और वॉर्सो कैपिटल है, तो जैसे और पूरा पोलैंड की स्थापना पुराण है, जिसमें ये 3 भाई थे, वो चलते चलते हैं अपना स्थान खोजते हैं, कौन सा सबसे अनुकूल स्थान होगा हम बसने के लिए। लेह, चेह और रूस। लेह इससे कुछ बोलते हैं कि पोलैंड को लेहिस्तान कहते हैं, अभी भी मुस्लिम देशों में कहते हैं लेहिस्तान, क्योंकि लेह वो इनका संस्थापक थे। इसके बाद चेक, उसका दूसरा नाम, दूसरा भाई था चेक, इससे चेक रिपब्लिक हो गया। ये भाई था, हम एक 1000 साल पहले एक दूसरे को हम समझते थे, एक थोड़ा सा डायलेक्ट थे, अभी भी थोड़ा सा सुनने के बाद वो समझ सकते हैं एक दूसरे को। और दूसरा भाई था रूस, तो रूस क्योंकि हमारी भाषा भी नज़दीक है, तो ये तीनों चलते चलते हाँ मैं यहाँ रहूँगा। और चूँकि उसमें ऊपर पेड़ पर एक गरुड़ था, बैठा था, तो वहाँ पोलैंड का पूरा जो एम्बलम है वो गरुड़ है, वो किसका कहते हैं, ईगल इन इंग्लिश, एंड वाइट ईगल। सो इस तरह की स्थापत्य, दूसरे की बहुत सारे इसमें उपदेश लगे हुए हैं। जैसे वॉर्सो में एक अंडरग्राउंड तालाब था, ऐसा कहानी बोल रहे। ये पोलैंड के बिल्कुल सिटी में के अंदर एक रास्ता है, सड़क है तमका, ये ओल्ड टाउन से नीचे उतरता है, उसी से विस्तुला नदी तक चलता है। तो उस तमका के नीचे एक तालाब था, और ये कहानी होती है, एक सुनहरा बत्तख वहाँ बैठी, सुनहरी बत्तख वहाँ बैठी थी, और उस सुनहरी बत्तख अगर वो कोई मिले तो वो एक आदमी को बहुत अमीर बना सकती है। तो एक आदमी वहाँ एक भूल जैसे वो अंदर आ गया, फिर देखा वो है, उसने कहा ठीक है मैं तुमको अमीर बनाऊंगी, लेकिन आपका ये एक शर्त है कि किसी को कोई दान नहीं देना, अगर दान देंगे तो तुरंत गरीब हो जाओगे। इसके बाद वो इतना अमीर हो गया, फिर वहाँ को टांगे से चलता था, वहाँ एक टांगे थे, वो तो सभी ईर्ष्या से देखते, ऊपर से देखते हैं, पूरा अमीर हो गया। लेकिन अचानक एक बहुत गरीब आदमी इसके सामने था, उसके बाद इतनी दया आ गई कि उसने एक टक्का दिया, एक सिक्का दिया, और तुरंत वो सब गायब हो गया। उसने कहा मैं तो गरीब होना पसंद करता हूँ, इतनी निर्दय होने से गरीब होना बेहतर है। और अजीब बात है कि इसके बाद जब अभी मेट्रो बन रहा था, तो अचानक उसी स्थान में जहाँ ये उसी सड़क के नीचे 2-4-5 साल पहले नया मेट्रो लाइन बन रहा था, अचानक वहाँ पता नहीं कहाँ से पानी आ गया, अंदर आ गया। तो हम तो लोग बोलने लगे, आ रही है ये जो कहानी थी वो सच्ची थी, वहाँ सचमुच एक तालाब था। और उसी प्रकार के क्राको में बहुत सारी कहानियाँ हैं, बहुत सारी। लेकिन ये जो कहानियाँ था, जैसे ड्रैगन, नाग, जो कलिया नाग जैसा था, वो विस्तुला नदी को पूरा जहरीला कर दिया है। वो क्राको की स्थापना पुराना में, स्थल पुराण में है, और इतना वो जहरीला कर दिया है। इसके बाद एक दर्जी था, छोटा दर्जी, उसने एक उपाय सोचा। एक खाल खरीदा एक बकरे का, और उसमें अंदर क्या कहते हैं उसको, जिसको जो दिया सलाई में होता है, इसका अंत में सल्फर से भरा। इसके बाद इस नाग के गुफा के सामने खड़ा कर दिया, रखा, और फिर उसने खा लिया, और उसने इतना जलन होने लगा कि पूरा पानी पी लिया विस्तुला का, वो ड्रैगन ने, क्योंकि ये सल्फर से उसका इतना जलन होने लगा। इसके पूरा पानी एकदम खत्म हो गया। इसके बाद इतना पिया कि वो और खत्म हो गया। तो ये एक तरह का उपाय। और वॉर्सो में एक दूसरा नाग रहता था, वो बहुत नीचे अंडरग्राउंड में। उसका ये था कि उसका ये था कि किसको देखा वो तुरंत भस्म हो जाता था। तो एक उपाय आया, एक लड़के ने सोचा, अरे बाप रे, मुझे तो सिर्फ शुरू किया। एक लड़के ने कहा कि वो आया, एक साहसी, एक बहादुर आया, लेकिन छोटा लड़का वो आया और आईना लिया, फिर इति ख्यातः पंचनिमेषे वदामि, तथा सः भस्म हो गया, अपने आप को जला दिया, वो जो ड्रैगन। इस तरह की साहित्य बहुत बच्चों को बहुत प्रिय होता है। और इसका एक और बताऊंगा, कुछ मोरल है, जैसे जो त्योहारों पुराण प्राक ईसाई के त्योहारों से जुड़े होते हैं, जिसमें ये पूरी पोलैंड की संस्कृति जुड़ी हुई है, बच्चों किंडरगार्टन्स में भी सीखते हैं और फिर जानते हैं। तो इस तरह ये संस्कृति का संस्कार अंदर आ जाता है। हालांकि बाद में ये जो ऑफिशियल एजुकेशन होता है उसमें दूसरे पुस्तकें पढ़ना पड़ता है, लेकिन किंडरगार्टन्स में छोटी छोटी यह बहुत मनोरमा, क्योंकि क्या है उसमें उस पीरियड में, ये 16-17वीं शताब्दी में एक ऐसा युग आ गया कि वो बोलते हैं कि खेल खेल में सीख, खेल में सीख। तो बहुत ही हिंदी में बोलूं, अच्छा, तो ऐसा था कि इसी में बहुत सारी कहानियाँ हो गई। मैं चाहूँ आपका थोड़ा सा 5 मिनट और लेना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं 2-3 चमत्कारिक काव्य दिखाना चाहता हूँ। समय कम है, इसलिए सिर्फ 3 करूँगा या 2 करूँगा या 1 भी करूँ। एक लेख इसमें ये चमत्कार करते हैं शब्दों का और अर्थों का। बच्चे बस बहुत पसंद करते हैं एक यूलियन तुविम एक अद्भुत आदमी, बहुत अद्भुत कवि जो आधुनिक है। आधुनिक माने 19वीं 20वीं शताब्दी के। तो उन्होंने अनुप्रास और यमक का प्रयोग किया है बच्चों को मनोरंजन करने के लिए। और उसने लिखा है एक कविता, क्योंकि कुछ काल्पनिक भी होते हैं, लेकिन यह पूरा अनुकरण करते हैं प्रकृति को, बच्चों को पूरे योग्यता बढ़ाने के लिए और इमेजिनेशन को बढ़ाने के लिए। जैसे उसमें ऐसा होता है, एक इंजन, एक ट्रेन है, रेल है, तो बोलेंगे तो इसमें यह एक इंजन खड़ी है और फिर वो बहुत भारी है, बहुत भारी, और इसके बाद धीरे धीरे चलने लगता है। तो इस तरह का कवि लिखा है। Stoi na stacji lokomotywa, ciężka, ogromna, aż pot z niej spływa tłusta oliwa. Stoi i sapie, dyszy i dmucha, żar z rozgrzanego jej brzucha bucha. Buch jak gorąco, jak gorąco, puf jak gorąco, jak gorąco. Już ledwie sapie, już ledwie zipie i jeszcze palacz węgiel w nią sypie. और अभी स्टार्टिंग हो रहा है। नागले ग्विस्ट, नागले शीत, parabuch, koła w ruch. Najpierw powoli, jak żółw w ociężale, ruszyła maszyna po szynach ospale, szarpnęła wagony i ciągnie z mozołem i kręci się koło za kołem i biegu przyspiesza i gna coraz prędzej i dudnie i stuka, łomoce i pędzi, a dokąd, na wprost. Po torze, przez most, przez góry, przez tunel, przez pola, przez las i śpieszy, by zdążyć na czas. Tak tu turkucie i puka i stuka, to tak gładko i tak toczy się w dal, jak gdyby to piłeczka, nie stal, nie ciężka maszyna zziajana, zdyszana, lecz fraszka i graszka, zabawa blaszana. To जैसे चिंची चाटे चोरी चटोरी चीनी खोर, इस तरह का खेल है शब्दों का। और ना, ये दिस इज इनट्रांसलेटेबल। तो ये है बहुत सारे खेल, वो तुविम इसमें मास्टर थे। और अगर 2 मिनट मुझे देंगे तो एक कविता मैंने अनुवाद किया, पोलिश भाषा में, एक हिंदी भाषा में अनुवाद किया, एक छोटा सा। और यह है हितोपद, पंचतंत्र में भी मिलता है या कहानियों। उसका इतिहास बहुत पुराना है, लेकिन ये पोलैंड का कालिदास ने लिखा है। उसका ये बहुत छोटा है, उसका मीनिंग है मित्र, दो मित्र, przyjaciele। और ये मैंने इसको ये ईसोप की कहानियों में मिलता है। और ईसोप वो ग्रीक का प्राचीनतम कथाकार हैं। और ये वास्तविकता ये है कि ईसोप की कहानियाँ वो शायद 10वीं शताब्दी BC, और उनकी कथाओं, एक कथा है उनकी, एक काक जो घड़े से पानी निकलता है, वो मोहनजोदारो और हड़प्पा के एक पॉट में, एक बानखंड में उसका एक चित्रण है, बहुत सुंदर। तो यहाँ भी है। और उनका इसके बाद साहित्य, भारतीय साहित्य में भी, संस्कृत साहित्य में मिलता है। तो ये उस समय हमारा जो पोलैंड का कालिदास आदम मिच्किewicz, ये थे 19 शताब्दी, मतलब 18वीं शताब्दी के अंत में उनका जन्म हुआ। उसने लिखा है, तो उसने लिखा है, nie masz teraz prawdziwej przyjaźni w świecie, आजकल ना मिलता है सच्चा स्नेह, सच्चा स्नेह नहीं मिलता है। और इसके बाद वो लिथुआनिया में है, वो ओशमियन एक जिला है, ओशमियन अंचल में इसका अंतिम उदाहरण देख। मैं तो इसका थोड़ा अनुकरण करता हूँ, उसका स्टाइल भी। वहाँ रहते थे दो मित्र, मेघ का मित्र लेख और लेख का मित्र मेघ। मेघ का मित्र लेख और लेख का मित्र मेघ। ऐसों में से वे दोनों थे जो जहाँ मैं वहाँ तू, जो मेरा सो तेरा। लोग कहा करते कि वे अखरोट पाकर एक बीज दो हिस्सों में काटते। ऐसे मित्र अब कहाँ मिलते, कहो कि एक आत्मा के दो देह। एक बार जब वन में पेड़ों के शीतल साए अपने दोस्ती की गप थे मारते, कोयल की बोली में अपने मीठे स्वर मिलाए, एकाएक गरजा कुछ आगे। लेह उछलकर पेड़ के ऊपर कटफोड़े की तरह चढ़ आया। मैंने ये हुनर न सीखा। ओ यार, नीचे से हाथ उठा के चीखा। तब तक यार चोटी पर ही आया। जो ही मैं आंखें मूंद कर पड़ा पीला औंधे मुंह, बड़ा भालू सामने आया। मैं आ रहा हूं। काया देखा उसे टटोला मृतक जैसा जो पड़ा निश्चल, सूंघा और उस महक से जो बेशक डर का ही था नतीजा, अंदाजा लगाया कि वो तो मुर्दा ही होगा और इस पर न ताजा। तो बुड़बुड़ा कर मुंह फेरा, वापस जंगल लौटा, क्योंकि लिथुआनिया का भालू बासी मांस कभी न खाता। ये है स्नेह का ही तब मेघ की जान में जान आई। नाजुक हालत में थे दोस्त, लेख ने चिल्लाया। पर बताओ, उसने इतनी देर तक हांफते क्या क्या कान में फुसफुसाया। मेघ ने कहा, कहावत भालुओं की सुनाई, सच्चे मित्रों को पहचानो जब मुसीबत आई। तो समय की कमी है और समय नहीं है, तो मैं आपको इतने में मैं अपना समाप्त कर दूंगा। थैंक यू सो मच, धन्यवाद।
सॉरी सर, समय की मर्यादा से हम भी बंधे हुए हैं। इस बेहतरीन सत्र और पॉलिश बच्चों के साहित्य और इतिहास पर जानकारी देने के लिए आपका खूब खूब धन्यवाद। What an insightful series of talk. Each of our speakers has brought unique and valuable perspective to the table, online and offline, highlighting the diverse yet interconnected world of children's literature. To provide an academic synthesis and remarks, I would like now to invite Dr. Jagdish Joshi sir, Director UGC HRDC at Gujarat University, to share his reflections. Sir.
Thank you.
First of all, I would like to congratulate the team and the able team leader, Dr. T.S. Joshi of the Vice Chancellor of Children's Research University, for organizing its first international conference and inviting such stalwarts as keynote speakers. The university deserves a big round of applause for successfully inviting such keynote speakers and roping up them from different parts of the globe. Professor Karen Coates covered various themes in American children's literature in an interesting and impressive way. She also discovered individualism in 21st century and illustrated a few pieces from American children's literature. She also discussed the themes of environment, sexual abuse, romantic relationship, OCD Romeos, mindfulness, social justice, dealing with feelings, humor, horror, fantasy, fiction, activism, and importance of children as agents. She thrown light on many new avenues for further deliberations and research, so they may be useful to the audience and the researchers present here. Professor Pareen Somani delivered on British children literature. She argued on British children literature on various areas, like she covered culture, values, and imagination. She said that it's a story of adventure, courage, friendship, and feelings. She asked few questions like, why do stories matter? A child is introduced to the stories by mother and grandparents. She shared personal experiences of her grandmother, the way she narrated stories and introduced her to the stories. And this is not something new to us. It's almost familiar to almost all the cultures, and I guess universal to almost all the cultures, that children are introduced to the stories by parents and grandparents. What is the meaning of few words like bravery, darkness, light, knowledge, food, is generally introduced by stories and culture, and that also very well introduced by her during her talk. She talked about cultural fusion, Jungle Book, imperial influences. She discussed the global impact of British children literature, and she said that it is translated in hundreds of world languages. It is cinematized and digitalized. She concluded by enduring the magic of children's literature, legacy, values, imagination, connection, and empowerment. Dr. Kusumkar Nupane threw light on Nepali children's literature. He started very nicely by talking about both the sections like oral literature and written literature. He talked about various sections of oral literature and even written literature also. He talked about folk literature, folk songs, children literature, how it is created, various forms of children literature, how entertainment and moral they are fusioned. He talked about various forms like poem, poetry, prose, biography, though he touched few technical sides also. He tried to keep it in timelines, and he talked about very popular sources of entertainment and learning. It was really a fabulous presentation by Sri Eknath Ahadji. His presentation, we could see a creator, we could see an author, a creative writer. The suggestions which he has given are practiced by Children University and many other universities in Gujarat. We have seen that we were greeted by books. What he suggested here, he said not bouquet but books. He suggested many ideas to popularize children literature. He talked about very basic and implementable ideas about children literature. Though he used a lot of Marathi examples and Marathi language, but we could understand them very easily. His language was very simple, and he could communicate the ideas to us. Bal Sahitya, the way he tried to communicate, it reached to all of us. This is the power of Bal Sahitya, I understand, and that is the universality of literature. He presented in his own unique and impressive and very creative style. Dr. Philip, he talked about Polish children literature. He chose to speak in Hindi, English and Polish, I guess, and presented in a very impressive way. The stories he told are very impressive and interesting. He tried to find similarities between Indian stories and Polish stories. The storytelling was very interesting. He shared his personal experiences of storytelling with his family. And the poem he recited, the translation he has talked about. We have constraints of time, otherwise we would have requested both these presenters to spare some more time with us. But yes, both are there, I guess, with us for some more time. So during lunchtime or maybe after that, we'll be able to discuss with them for some more time. I would like to touch upon just 2-3 things for 1 minute and then I'll conclude my talk. There are some prominent themes, just I would like to touch on them. I would skip the part which I have kept to talk about. I have kept the list of the books which we can touch upon on these themes, but I'm skipping that, just I'm talking about the themes which are covered by this different kind of literatures. As far as children literature is concerned, the themes are like friendship and loyalty, courage and perseverance, self-discovery and identity, imagination and adventure, family and belongings, overcoming prejudice and injustice, environment awareness, kindness and compassion, coming of age and growing up, magic and fantasy, overcoming adversities, mischief and rebellion, animals and protagonists, class and social justice, mythology and folklores, family and relationships, adventures and explorations, identity and self-discovery, social issues, justice, humor, mischief, fantasy, magic and historical fiction. So these are few of the themes which are generally touched by children literature. So these are few ideas which I thought that I should share. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the university for giving me this opportunity to listen to this stalwarts and to attend this conference in this capacity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts. I now invite Dr. Narendra Kumar Vasawa, sir, for vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to one and all, dignitaries on and off the dais. It is my privilege and I feel honored to thank each and every one of you for being part of this international conference on connecting cultures, children's literature as a global gateway. On behalf of Children's Research University, Gandhinagar and the organizing committee, I acknowledge the participation of all the plenary speakers who have contributed immensely to this session. We express our deepest gratitude to all the speakers for the transformative power of children's literature in bridging cultures and fostering global understanding. We also acknowledge their presentation, hard work, and the perseverance they have shown to all of us. We are also grateful to the session chair who has skillfully handled these sessions and has given us insights. A special thanks to the organizing committee, volunteers, and the technical team who tirelessly worked to make this session a successful one. Also thank all the participants for your contribution as active listeners and enlightening each one of us. Finally, would like to acknowledge the institutions who have come in touch with us, in collaboration with us in organizing this international conference. I thank ICSSR for sponsoring us this event. Also acknowledge Central University of Gujarat for collaborating in this event. Thank you everyone for being here, being with us, and look forward for the afternoon and the valedictory session wherein we all can churn out this topic for the greater good of the society. Thank you so much.
I thank you, Dr. Narendra Vasawa sir, for sharing word of thanks. 3 announcements are there for all of us. First, bus for transition towards Children's Research University is ready outside. So all the scholars and participants will be there, and you just have your lunch in time, and sharp at 3 o'clock we will start our technical parallel session. And second one is then, please don't ask for early certificate handover. It will be delivered only, it will be distributed to the participants only after valedictory session. So don't request for early handover of certificates. And third, all the organizing committee members are requested to come forward near dais, and we will have a group photo session with our dignitaries. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Bhadrayu Sir, and all the organizing committee. And અહીંથી ચિલ્ડ્રન્સ રિસર્ચ યુનિવર્સિટી જવા માટે જેમની પાસે વ્હીકલ નથી, બસ બહાર છે, તો તમે બસ દ્વારા ચિલ્ડ્રન્સ રિસર્ચ યુનિવર્સિટી સુધી જલ્દીથી પહોંચી અને તમારું લંચ લઈ અને ટેકનિકલ સેશન માટે તૈયાર રહેજો.